In the now immortal words of one Jack Harlow, was popping. I am your not so illustrious, somewhat notorious, often boisterous host, Chance! The Yellow Pages, whatever the fuck you want to call me, it don't matter. I got a couple people queued up, if they're still there. Yep, they are. Cool. I'll be bringing some people on here in a little bit. Give it a little second for some people to pop in. And this one should be fun. This was gonna be a little wild, a little reckless. It can go a little out of hand. We're gonna be talking about a lot of bullshit, a lot of the negative shit that goes on, a lot of the annoying shit that goes on, the things that shouldn't be happening that constantly are. Honestly, we're just going to highlight negativity. Just 100%. This community is toxic as fuck in a lot of ways. And honestly, we're all guilty in one way or another of adding to it. So, this is my effort to what's the word I'm looking for here? Flush out our systems of a lot of this toxicity. If we highlight some of the nonsense, bullshit, the fuckery, without saying any names, then maybe people can realize like I didn't know people were affected. I mean, at the same time, though, you got a lot of trolls and a lot of shitheads, so you never know. But if you never try, you never know. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Exactly. So, with all that being said, I know this is a very terrible episode, for lack of better phrasing, for me to bring on the person that I'm about to bring on. But fuck it, he's a new voice to the conversation, but he's not a new name in the community. Maybe around Twitter, they might not know him as well. But Mark Caliber, how you doing, buddy?
Hey man, what's up?
It's definitely good to hear from you, man. You are one of my favorite people to work with throughout this community, like 100%. That's like stems all the way back from us in WU.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Before we get into the negativity, the bullshit, things that you may have witnessed, things that you've seen take place within the last 3, 4 years of being involved in this community. Let's talk a little bit about a hidden gem of sorts known as Commonwealth. I hear
Yeah.
that it is a very well run organization. Would you happen to know anything about that?
Um. Well, I wouldn't really know about it being like very well, very well known. I mean, um, it basically just started like as like an idea that I think Blaze McCoy pretty much came up with. Like, the, I was thinking about like doing like one of these type of things like a couple of years ago, and then Blaze would say like Commonwealth Wrestling on YouTube or something like that, and that's pretty much how it came about. So I basically borrowed the original Commonwealth from Restaurant Unstoppable and brought it to YouTube. Um, we've got a lot of faces from Restaurant Unstoppable, and of course some other faces that I actually created to join it. Um, I will admit it's pretty stressful trying to run the YouTube show and the WU show around the same time. Um, But so far, it's been it's been expanding. I've noticed. So there's that.
So there's a decent amount of people through the Twitter side of this community that might not be familiar with Commonwealth due to lack of experience with WWE or WU, excuse me.
It's okay.
Uh, give us a little bit of a breakdown on how you have that set up.
Um, I'm sorry. Could you repeat that last word again?
A bit of a breakdown on how your company is set up.
Ah. Um, would you like the YouTube version or would you like the WU version?
Let's go with the YouTube version for the Twitter listeners.
Ah. Okay. So how Commonwealth runs is basically like it's not really a type of schedule thing. I basically like look up the calendar that was recently given to me by Elfie, I think it was, and and I basically what I want to do is I want to put my show in like in the times of the ones that are not selected, mainly because I do not want to take anybody's time if they're streaming, right? And I wouldn't want to do that to them, right?
For
Uh,
sure.
yeah. So basically, how I do this is that I have a Twitch channel also. So basically, what I do is I record the live stream on Twitch, and then I upload it to YouTube on a certain date. And it does get a little weird because a couple of people do kind of pop in, and I do happen to know one that kind of spoils things on my Facebook page, which of course happens. Um, but I have pre-approved thing on, so what I do is I save the post until after the episode is actually released. So it's kind of like a tape delay type of thing, if you know what I'm saying.
I got you. So when it comes down to the storytelling aspect of your company, is that something that you were like keeping at the forefront, like what you do with the WU side, or are you more reliant on like the actual like match results?
Um, uh, I have been going through like with the match result type of thing, but I have been trying to get some storylining in, and I have been actually been able to do that. Um, as a matter of fact, I'll give you this one thing. My character recently turned heel in the Commonwealth YouTube version, and he was revealed as the attacker who attacked Jake Bagwell after that Iron Man match that we had in that one supercard. You go check that out. If it's somewhere on my channel. I think it's somewhere in February. Um, so what was supposed to happen was it was supposed to be Mark Caliber versus Cowboy John because I think he was one of the early tag team partners of Bagwell, and I wanted to select him to fight for his honor. But a member of my a member of the roster, he's been having a bit of a thing like an attention seeker type of thing. I'm not mentioning names, mind you, but basically his character recently turned heel, turning on his brother and whatnot. But then all of a sudden, he kind of jumped into our rivalry and suddenly turned face for some reason. But so yeah, that was a storyline that I wasn't really able to finish off. But I wanted to save it after my character got severely injured in universe mode. Uh, I thought that this would be the perfect opportunity to actually do the actual storyline the way it was meant to be between Mark and Cowboy John, which I think actually went a lot better than the last time. And the rivalry finally finished with the very Iron Man match with my character actually losing 3-2. It's in the Deadly Game Supercard. You can actually go check that out on my channel as well. It's from October the 3rd, and that that super card was 5 freaking hours long. So yeah, I am trying to lean towards the storylining aspect as well as doing the match result. So yeah, I am trying to expand a little bit on that.
Now, Blaze mentioned something in the chat there that I kind of want to highlight a little bit about you. You are by far one of the most supportive people in the community. Like outside of running your own company, there's a good number of companies out here that you are helping out with, like keeping time in the chat so they know how long the matches are running,
Yeah.
like helping people out with filling spreadsheets and all other kinds of stuff, man. Like there's not a lot of people that are jumping to the call to arms like you.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I don't do that much that stuff much anymore. I do kind of plan on getting back into it for a little bit. The thing is, though, I just don't want to like overwork myself. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, man, you can't spread yourself too thin.
Right.
All right, so now I want to kind of shift gears towards the actual topic of this conversation.
Right.
There's a lot of fuckery that's afoot, and I know you're the silent guy when it comes to the Twitter. You don't do too much of the interaction outside of promoting shows, but I know you see a lot of everything. What is one thing in particular that you wish you could see a lot less?
Well, definitely a lot less trolls. That's one thing that I want to see less of.
All
I
right, we're just
also
gonna go over here now.
okay. um, Another thing that I kind of want to see less is like like um the things that have been like going going on, like people like making fun of death and making fun of diseases and disabilities and stuff like that. You know, I've seen enough posts where like people are making fun of like freaking autism, and like there is no cure for autism, and it is not a transferable thing. I mean, you can get it, but not in that way. And but being autistic, it kind of does have its advantages, and a lot of the trolls don't really know that. And well, I don't get trolled a lot actually. I've mainly been trying to stay away from that, as you know. But but hold on, kind of lost myself for a sec. But and also I did receive like one like suicide threat. Like apparently this one person on Twitch, like when I was streaming South Park Stick of Truth, he said in Dutch, "Go jump off a roof." Like, yeah, like that's ever gonna happen. I'm not a daredevil or anything like that. I'm not stupid. So,
I jumped off a roof a few times.
yeah, I'm
That's
sure you
13
have.
though.
But yeah, that those are certainly things I really do want to see less, especially with the racism and stuff like that. It's something that TJ Toad, I heard, kind of had to go through, which sucks. And especially with the cyberbullying, it's really like it's tedious or whatever it is. I forget how you pronounce it, but
Tedious.
but yeah, that's it. Um, but yeah, um, a lot of a lot of people recently have died because of that. Like literally, just took their own lives, which sucks. And well, Goddess, I wouldn't really call them keyboard warriors. I prefer to call them keyboard cowards. That's the proper
That part.
term. Yeah, that's the proper noun as far as I'm concerned.
I would have put that one back up there for a sec.
Yeah.
I am going to bring in one Minerva.
Ouch.
Holy
I'm
shit, that's
sorry.
me.
I have to say her name excitedly like every time.
You don't have to bust my eardrums though. Jesus.
Okay, so I forget how well my headset picks me up until I hear myself later.
It peaks very quickly is the problem. Like it picks up those high notes really well.
Everyone does have a wrench, yes.
You get a wrench. If you look under your chairs, you get a wrench. You get a wrench. Everybody gets a wrench.
Wrenches all around. Wrenches for the wretches. Wait a minute. Now, Minnie, you brought up a very good point in the chat. There's no excuse for ableism at all whatsoever. There's a lot of that going around in this community of ours. There's a lot of people who like to hide behind the guise of character, to talk shit, make themselves feel bigger than the next by belittling them in ways that they shouldn't because of issues that are beyond their control. I feel like that's something that definitely needs to fucking die. I personally have had to try to talk a lot of people down from very dark fucking places because of that type of bullying. And like as somebody who ends
It's
up in
not
those
just the
places
bullying
myself,
though. I mean, the bullying is bad and like obviously needs to stop and is fucked up. But it's not just bullying. And Mark touched on this a little bit earlier. People want to make serious real life shit into a gimmick, and they think that it's funny or clever, and it's not. It's offensive, and it's usually not well researched at all, and they have no idea what they're actually talking about, and they're just relying on stereotypes to get a cheap reaction.
very true. I've seen a lot of it, especially on Twitter.
I've seen people try to run cancer angles. I've seen people making their gimmick into my character has this mental illness, and isn't that wild and wacky?
I've
I've
seen
seen
a lot
people try.
of suicide angles and
Yeah, there's a
fake
lot of people
suicide
trying to run
angles.
suicide angles, or they'll they'll kill off a character, or they'll claim that the manager behind the character has committed suicide and everyone needs to feel bad about it. Um, and then like 6 months later, they're like, "Oh, Jk." And I that's one thing that like I have no use for is people who do that attention grabbing stuff and then just don't, have no idea how offensive and hurtful it is, and don't want to, like, if you did it because you were, 17 and stupid and you realize now that that shit was fucked up, that's one thing. If you're fucking 42 years old and you did it because people weren't clicking enough likes on your fucking post, no.
That part.
And
See,
Drum's
that
right.
brings me to another thing.
People forget that this is a game.
Like, legitimately, this is a game. This is something that we're literally just doing to have fun.
I
We
think
all
I
want to
think
forget about the bullshit
I
that we're
think
dealing
Blaze
with.
was the one who mentioned it a couple weeks ago. The last time you did a conversation, Judgment J Esquire is like, why is everyone so upset about a bunch of pixels?
Like, legitimately.
Like the
Like, I
people
bust
who
people's balls
invest
every
their
now and then.
the
Go
people who
ahead.
invest like their self worth in what their fake wrestler is doing is bizarre to me.
So,
Like,
I have a real life issue with that type of shit. I've literally had to constantly remind a good handful of people. Some of them you know, some of them you don't. A lot of them you've seen on Twitter, and you probably know exactly who I'm talking about just off of the way that they interact with others. I've had to constantly like just badger it in, just beat it into their heads like, yo, none of this shit matters. Why are you touting these wins like you're actually gonna get something from it? And then on the opposite side of that, why are you taking these reactions you're getting from people so seriously as if they fucking matter? Like a lot of them are just people who are reacting to the shit that you say in character, rubbing you the wrong way, and you're overreacting to it. Some of it are people just being assholes, shitting on you just for the sake of it, and you're taking too much stock into it. At the end of the day, you are responsible for your mentality, for your peace of mind, however you want to look at it. You have to absorb the things that are gonna bring more light to you than negativity. I'm toxic as fuck though, so I'm gonna be engaging in all of that bullshit when I see it on my timeline.
Uh,
But yeah, and Elfie's right. Another thing is people being like, rage quitting, and then 2 days later they're back.
you know,
I'm a definite rage
the,
quitter.
that in character thing that does remind me. I do have a bit of a policy of my own, and this actually goes within both my
Oh
YouTube
boy.
version and the WU version. If you're gonna use a character for, let's say, an angle or a scene or anything that you guys talked about, the policy is please talk to that person first.
Do not God mod. The end. Period. If you don't know what God modding is, come talk to me, and I will tell you if you were God modding.
Pretty much, yes. So yeah, talk to the character's owner. If you're gonna do this thing and work with somebody, that would be fine. But please do not jump ahead and use their characters without their permission. I've been getting that so many times with
It's so bad.
yeah
It's so bad.
yeah. You've probably seen some posts on my Facebook
I
group
and I
possibly.
will say, for those of you who are not involved on the Woo side, it is probably the worst over there. Mainly
I
because
am glad that I left that game when I did, to be honest.
it's easier to do in a text based format, like all of the stuff in Woo is. And moreover, if you get called out for doing something, even if you don't think you were doing it, even if you didn't do it intentionally, if someone calls you out, at least stop and pause and be like, huh, is there a chance that perhaps I am in the wrong?
Chance fun.
um, it might you might come to the conclusion that you don't think you're doing anything wrong, and maybe you're not. Get the opinions of people in the community that you trust, people whose opinion you respect. If someone comes to you and says, "Hey, I don't like that you did X," go talk to Chance, go talk to Mark, go talk to Blaze, and be like, "Hey, someone said I'm doing X. Am I doing X?" And maybe you are
It's
doing
always
X.
better to have a second pair of eyes looking at your works because their opinion and yours may not meet the same.
Yeah, and it could be a complete misunderstanding, and just fucking talking to people will
Yeah,
solve so many of your problems. I
yeah,
promise you.
and
If you just talk to people and don't fly off the handle the second you see something that you think is disrespectful to you.
All right, I got this person fucking nipping at my heels to get in here. So
He better
let's
not
see
be
what
from
he's got to
goddamn
offer.
Baltimore.
He is definitely from goddamn Baltimore.
Nothing good ever came out of Baltimore. Brandon Ace, go sit your
Well,
ass down.
something good better come out of his mouth when I bring him in here. I'm gonna kick him out.
oh boy.
Okay, fine.
Brandon Hayes, how you doing?
Not in a good mood after what I hear from Minerva, and I was gonna give you some milk and cookies so you don't get any.
I don't need your milk and cookies.
They're
So
my
get some milk
mother's
and
cookies.
cookies.
They're the best.
If you are anything to be judged by, I don't need anything your mom made.
I mean, she knows how to cook.
Damn.
Trust me.
I love you, Brandon.
That's debatable.
Sarcasm and teasing are
So,
my love languages. You can ask Chance.
Mr. Richard.
Oof.
So, Ace, you are somebody who is deeply rooted in this community right now. You've seen more of the bullshit than anybody else in this chat right now. Like, even the motherfuckers watching.
Sadly,
What are some
yes.
things that you would like to see go away?
Pretty much everything. The trolling, the racism, sexism, all
Okay,
that bullshit.
I'm gonna stop you for just a second, just because, and it's not anything that you've said wrong. but both you and Mark have mentioned trolling, and I would like you guys to tell me what you define as trolling, because people use
Yeah,
that
because
word
as a
for
troll, I
different
feel
things.
personally attacked. I
Well,
be
it's like
trolling
the
all day, and you know
well,
it.
well, I'm talking about the trolling when people are on like shows and doing all like that bullshit, like on the live chat. I'm like, can you
What
please?
bullshit? What bullshit are they doing? Name and shame. This is
Well,
not
don't name, just shame.
okay. Fine,
I
shame.
mean, talking about their shows is bad and all that, and also people
So like
talking.
people coming in and being negative just for the sake of being negative.
Yep.
Okay.
Hang on a sec. Hang on a sec. I gotta announce this. I gotta announce this. Platinum Dragon Wrestling is currently live on the Platinum Dragon Wrestling channel here on YouTube. Feel free to pull up a second window, go support my man Shifty. If you don't, I will find out where you live and kick you right square in the no square.
No, you won't,
Shit.
because you keep threatening to come out here, and you have not once come to Ohio.
Don't give him any ideas.
You keep
See,
promising.
it's Ohio.
Man, I doubt you'll come over here.
Nobody wants to come to Baltimore.
You're lost.
The only way that I will go to
I
Baltimore
have
is if I'm
been
on
to
my way to Pittsburgh.
Baltimore, and I didn't see not one Raven, and I was offended.
Because you didn't look harder enough. Yeah.
Brandon Ace, when I was in Baltimore, you were probably like 6 years old, so
Andy Price, good to see you out there.
it's Andy.
Ugh.
He's probably been here for a while now.
To be fair, I live right next to the Michigan state line, so it could be a lot worse. I could live in Pennsylvania like some people I can name.
What the hell? Pennsylvania? What
You
is?
don't know about Pennsylvania?
No, because that sounds like a made up name made by a 6-year-old.
I will let Blaze school you on Pennsylvania at a later date.
He'll definitely school you here in just a little bit. But I want you to keep expounding on the trolling you were referring to.
Well, it's pretty
Brandon.
much like when you see like a random person with like I think burner accounts talking negativity on a show that which I've seen multiple times and I don't know why they do it. Do they get kicks off of it and all that?
Because they like
You mean the
attention.
legitimate trolling, like the people popping in with these Barack Obama accounts dropping in the N word and all of these racial slurs and other stuff like that.
Yes.
But I think I remember Pete Wall having to deal with that. It was
He
spamming
Oh,
like
gets
quite a few
crazy.
of
weird
us have had to deal
trolls.
with
Like
it.
I don't know what it is about Pete's algorithm, but he gets weird trolls.
Blaze, how you going, man? Just sit tight. I got you, man.
I haven't even gotten to go on my rant that I've been promising Chant I was going to go on for like 3 months now.
Well, do it.
So I've got one thing in particular that I'm sick of, and I'm pretty sure you guys are gonna agree with me on it. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. It's totally up to you. But one thing that I wish would fucking disappear is the sexualization of calls.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
These
I
are
don't have a
fucking
problem with it.
pixelated characters. Like, I get it, you want to add depth to your character and all, but why the fuck are you posting nude pictures of a fake character?
Oh my god, the ones with the
Uh,
vagina floss. I can't.
oh gosh.
I'm just like you are
See,
not
that's a whole other subject for me, Minnie. Like, I troll them once a month down here.
like this. You're telling me that your character goes out there and wrestles with that in.
I don't really have a Sorry, I don't really have a problem with it, but it's like, are you gonna be wrestling or are you just gonna be just posting pics?
Susie, I will get some pictures to you because there is some wild shit on Twitter.
Yep.
So, Blade Charge, if you don't understand it, when she says vagina floss, she means the people who are making these custom attires where the bottoms are literally so thin that if you suplex them the wrong way, the crowd gets a happy ending.
Yep, pretty much.
What a thing to say. Yeah, you really don't. I didn't need to see that. I'm just scrolling through Twitter, minding my own business, reading my like stories and shit, and then it's just like, bam, digital vagina, and I'm like, okay.
Y'all
So,
gave my star voters. Way
sadly,
to
you'll be.
go.
Trust me, you'll see.
I have no objection to nudes and lewds. Like I will look at that shit all day, but I don't need to see that in my wrestling ring because no one
That
would
part.
actually wrestle in that.
Hey, everyone wants to bring back sexuality.
That's not
And
sexual. Like, first of all, that tells
Vagina.
me that every single person who makes those calls does not actually possess a vagina and probably has never seen one in real life. Because if you had, you would know that no one who has a vagina would actually wear that on purpose.
true, they
That
usually
part.
do that to get. They usually do that to get like likes and retweets.
At least not in public.
Not in public in a wrestling ring.
True.
Just out there. I mean, they're kind of pixelated, and I've never seen a pixelated vagina in real life. I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm just saying, in my personal experience, I've never seen one. So your mileage may vary.
Yep.
All right, I've made him wait long enough. Everybody, it's about to get wild. Strap it up, strap it in, strap it down.
Not the
However the
vagina
fuck he says
floss.
that shit.
Well, gotta get my seatbelt.
Blaze
Yo,
McCoy.
yo. All right, all right. I'm not as pumped up as I was a couple minutes ago, but yeah, strap it on, strap it in, strap it up, strap it down, whatever
Get you an
floats your boat, whatever
oxygen
makes you
tank and
happy.
get you hype again.
No,
There it
you're gonna
is.
hear, you're gonna hear. Listen, people, listen. There's always, and I'm gonna yell. I'm sorry, I'm fired up from this situation.
Yeah, but
it's
your
in a
mic
good
doesn't
way.
peak like Chance's does.
Listen, listen. There's always going to be motherfuckers that are going to try to get under your skin, troll you, be an asshole, be fuckers, dislike your show. You can't stop it. You got to get thick skin. You got to try to avoid it. You got to ignore it if you can. And like you said, talk to other people. Don't bring it into your live streams. Don't make a video of it if you can help it. There's different levels of engagement. You know, different people that are out there. Anonymity gives them the right to do this dumb shit, and it ain't gonna stop. Some people just don't work well with others. You want toxic? We got toxic everywhere. We've all dealt with it. They want shock factor. They want attention. Do not give it to them. It frustrates me because we've all dealt with it in different ways. I could give you an example where Brandon, Minerva, Mark, and Chance have all dealt with it. And everybody in the live chat, I see people in the live chat too. I've learned the hard way. I've gotten thicker skin from it. I'll be the example. Don't let it get to you. Don't bring attention to it. This is the good attention we can give it to. This is our safe space to come out and talk to all these people, but we need the others to hear it. Where are they? They're not here. They're afraid to come here because they know what Chance wants to talk about. They're going to hide. They're going to be pussies. And that's what they are. They're a bunch of pussies, for lack of a better word. And I'm sick of it.
Anybody
4
who's
years,
afraid
and
of growth.
it hasn't changed, man. It ain't never going to change. And if you're out there starting a show or just started and you get pissed off about things with this
No,
guy,
Elfie, you
go
cannot.
away. No names. That's not what this is about. This is about bringing situations to attention so we can get better. So we don't let things that happened before that can separate friendships outside the game. People are going to bring what they know about you. If they don't like you, they're going to bring it into your show. So choose who you share your shit with. Don't bring, I always say rules that I have, they're unwritten rules, because I know if I put them out there, they're going to use them. No politics, no religion, no rape, no murder. I don't even like people bringing up the pandemic and stuff, because then you got people arguing over vaccination this or not, or politics. Just don't do it. Have fun. This is escapism, people. It's a game to get away from all that shit. I understand some people want to honor, and I'm not putting down anything. I got cancer in my family, autism, all these things. You got to be careful how you celebrate it or honor it if you're going to do it on these shows. I've done it a few times, very candidly or briefly. But the more you bring it up, as much good you want to bring, These motherfuckers will make it bad. Don't put yourself out there. Just don't do it. I don't understand. I understand why people do it. We've never had this medium to make sure this shit doesn't happen. I see good people up and down the live chat. People that have dealt with some bad shit in their lives. Do you want to bring it up in the live chat or in the shows to get coddled because we have such a great community? Yes, it's okay to do that. Be careful. Someone's going to see you from the outside and come in and fuck with you over it. And do you want that?
You just
You want to
handed
have to deal
somebody
with
a
it?
full clip of ammo.
Exactly. Too many people do it. And it has, I mean, it has to start here. It has to start here. Too many friendships. And this community should be bigger than how many people are in WU right now. But it's not. It's not probably ever going to be because of the rifts that have happened. And it sucks. And it's bullshit. Me and Brandon haven't always been on the same page. Me and Minerva haven't always been on the same page. Hell, me and Chance haven't been on the same page for things he's come to me for outside of the game. But we get past it. If you can't get past it and let the minor shit go aside and realize who the real people are, you're going to fail. And it sucks. There's channels out there, and I ain't naming names, that are stuck in the same rut for 4 or 5 years because they refuse to broaden their horizons. They refuse to reach out to get help from someone else. They think they're the shit and they can do it themselves. I've never put myself on a pedestal. I've never, hardly ever patted myself on the back. But after 4 fucking years of seeing it all, you're damn right I'm gonna do it sometimes. And it's for a good fucking reason. If people don't hear it and learn it anymore, if someone doesn't speak up and try to stop it or take them aside, it's going to get worse and worse, people. This community needs to flourish, and it needs people like everyone in this live chat and on this call. All right, I need a drink. I'm off my soapbox.
There's a good handful of people that aren't here that I will very willingly uplift. I've
That's where
interacted
we
with.
can help it. We need to share this out. People don't realize the power of that share button. Tell your people what's going on here and spread the word.
That part, and I put it in every single tweet. I will always say it every time I get ready to do this. This is a open platform. Literally anybody in this community can come on here and talk about anything. Yeah, I'm gonna keep some control over it because this is my fucking show. But at the end of the day, I want as many people as fucking possible to come in here. I am in the business of building bridges here.
Thank you.
And God damn it,
damn good.
I'm a great fucking bridge builder.
But
Felt
yeah,
like I was cutting
I
a
mean,
promo,
I think
but that was real.
I think what was said about
Unscripted.
trying to ignore the trolls and not drawing attention to people trying to start random shit in your chat is good. But I've said it before and I will say it again probably every single fucking time Chance is dumb enough to let me come on here.
Every single time I do it.
There are people in the community who've been part of the community longer than I have who like to start shit. That's what they do. And I'm not talking about you, Chance. So don't sit over there and say that you're getting convicted.
Whew. I was about to feel all like attacked and shit.
I do not need you to show your entire ass right now.
You know I will.
I've seen you do it. But there are people in the community who like to start shit, who like to instigate, who like to poke and prod and whisper in people's ears. And my advice to everyone is if you hear something about someone else and it doesn't seem right, go to the person you heard it about. You don't have to say so-and-so told me this, but just be like, hey, I heard this thing. What's up with that? Because a lot of the issues that I have run into with individual people in the community came because someone decided that they wanted to run their mouth about something they didn't know anything about.
Honestly, same. I've had a good handful of shit come my way, either from other parties that I had no involvement with, but my name got brought up in it, and shit just came to me, or just a bunch of people talking some shit about some shit that I was doing or was not doing that they had no idea about because they weren't on the inside of it.
Yeah, and that
He's a,
is
he's a good troll
often the
for us.
case.
There's good trolls and bad trolls. Chance is a good troll. That's one thing that gets twisted where people are coming in just to kind of play their character. People like Chance, Minerva, Mark, and Brent. I'll give all four of you guys credit for being really good in character. Sometimes too good. That people are like, well, what the fuck, man? That's where the showrunner, as we call him, needs to maintain and realize, hey, these people are in character. Get over it. Play along, have fun.
There's
Yeah, I've
huge
actually
difference.
had like real hate come my way because of some heel work that I've put in.
I mean, it's wrestling. We got to have bad guy, good guys, and people do heel. But if
Yeah,
the person running the show doesn't lay the law down, people are like, "Oh, there's just a bunch of assholes in there. They're just mean to each other." Well, come on, man.
I mean, I have people that still won't talk to me because of something I said in character 2 years ago.
Oof.
That's fine. Like if they want to be mad, they're losing out. I don't care. I'm not going to lose sleep over somebody getting their feelings hurt because I said something stupid in character.
Some will never get it though, Minerva, and some people will never get it. I mean, like you said, how many years ago was that?
That was
2 years.
like when I first got into the community, so it's been closer to 3 years now.
And we've all, and I'm pretty sure, I don't know if I speak for everybody, but we've all learned a lot over these years of being here. And we've all tweaked how we do things because things have changed and because a lot of the bullshit we've had to deal with.
I've been guilty of it at times. I've had moments where my shit that I deal with has been bothering me in a major way, and I've seen some shit that was said to me in character in the wrong light, and I got a little heated about it. I got a little pressed about it. And every single time that that's happened, I went directly to that person and I was like, "Hey yo, is this some IC or OOC? I need to know."
Yep.
And then they'll let me know, and I'll explain what's going on my side, and then they'll get me out of that headspace.
The key is, where did you contact them?
Oh, I always slide straight to DMs.
Yeah, that's a good point. DMs. People,
I'm
there's
slide
other
in
people who
those
will
DMs.
just blurt it out right in the live chat or something. I mean, sometimes that's their only means of trying to get it out. But yes, Chance is the one that, slide into the DMs. Go talk to someone behind the scenes before you overreact in a live stream. Have some respect for the person doing the show.
That's the number one thing right there. Like, I don't give a fuck how pressed you are. I don't give a fuck how hot under the collar you get. I don't give a fuck if you feel obligated to get the last word in the fucking argument. Respect the showrunner first and foremost, because without this motherfucker, you wouldn't have any means of entertainment. Your character wouldn't have a place to fucking perform. So if you want that shit to continue, if you want this person to feel like they should keep running their show, don't give them something that'll make them feel like they're creating more tension than good.
Yep.
But
Brandon, how much
also,
shit did you take for how long back in the day?
I mean, I will also say that there is an impetus on the showrunner to step in if things go too far.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, the showrunner does hold all of the power. This is your show. This is your chat. You need to be the one in control, steering the shit.
And everyone does it differently. And we're not all running shows the same way, and that's a good thing. Variety is beautiful. If we all run the shows the same way, just like the argument we had on my podcast the other night, talk about WWE, AEW, and all the different companies. If they were all the same, how fucking boring would that be? People's personalities come out. They want to run it differently. They want to, have whoever on their show. That's their own way to do it. I respect no matter who they are, whether you like me or not, whether I go to your shows or not, anyone who presses that live button and puts herself out there. And I respect however they want to do the show. I mean, that's one thing I wish a lot more people would do. You ask that question to those guys, that's one thing I wish a lot more people would do. You're not going to stop the other trolls and bullshit. You just got to handle it better, in my opinion.
I'm going to backtrack a little bit to the topic of not bringing attention to things. I've seen quite a bit lately, and throughout my 2 years on Twitter now, where people are like, "Oh, I've been staying out of drama. I've been keeping my head low," and all of a sudden, people have my names in their mouth, and they'll take screenshots and post them. Do you not realize that that equates to drama? You might not have the intention of keeping that shit perpetuated, but the fact that you are bringing a situation that a lot of people don't know about to light, that they don't need to know about, means you are giving people who hate the person involved in said situation a means to start attacking them.
Drum, that wasn't always in game. That was the problem in the past, and that's just one example.
And I feel like that's part of the problem. And Susie said this earlier about people who can't separate between in character and out of character stuff. And people will, either develop a problem with someone because of something they've said in character, or they'll have an out of character problem with someone, and then they'll try to bring that in character, or at least say that they're being in character.
I'm so glad you brought that up.
That kind of
I can't lie, I've
happened
done that.
recently.
On the people in blue in the chat, the mods, they're there to moderate. If they see something, they need to know, number one, how that showrunner does it pretty much inside and out they can. If you're a showrunner and you got a handful of mods and you don't have a private chat helping them understand how you do things, you're doing it wrong. You need them to moderate. It's not a power trip. It's not something just to come in and say, I'm blue, I can, delete people or I can mess with people.
And be careful.
Moderate.
Wait, that's not what having a wrench is for?
Yeah, some shows it
my
is.
God.
I mean, some shows will give you a wrench if you show up more than once.
Yeah, that's old school though. That shit don't work no more.
But
Well, shit, I guess everybody who gave me a wrench needs to take them away from me because I've been misusing them shits.
Okay, I'm doing it right now.
But
Oh
yeah,
my God.
be careful who you make a moderator. I don't care if it's your best friend. If you know your best friend can't keep shit cool, or they've got personal beef with 37 people on your roster, maybe don't make them a mod.
You know what we did with Chance? Because his in-character can get kind of ill sometimes. Hey, let's have Grinder Gang be a mod, but Warforge not a mod when you want to be in character and let loose, because I don't want people coming into the stream to get the wrong idea. They come in and see someone in blue clapping off, doing all this shit, they're going to jump right along, start cussing with, and then using bad words that we don't use. So that's how you got to do it. You gotta empower your mods and teach them, show them. They got to moderate. Don't just be there to be blue and think you got power.
The mods are there to support you, but you need to support your mods as well.
And the people running the show don't always see everything in the live chats if you're really into what you're doing. And I try to engage as much as I can. I've always tried to welcome new people. And when some new name is in the chat, by all means, please, mods and unmods, let them know what this shit is about. Because you're going to get people come in, Cena versus Reigns, Cena versus Reigns. Play me, play me, play me. I get it. It's a game. People stream to play against them. But if your mods aren't letting them know, hey, this is AI versus AI, this is created characters, sit back,
you can tell them that in a nice way and not be an asshole to them.
That's a
first time they show up.
Because
but
if
you can
you're
also,
mean, you're
as
going to chase
the
them away
mod,
too.
As the mod, you can also be like, okay, we've told you 5 times that's not how this works. You need to calm down.
Timeout. That's what timeouts are for.
Yeah.
For people that won't listen. Or games on some people's channel just to take out Blade Charge every once in a while.
Ouch.
We love you, Blade Charge.
But Blade Charge is in on it. How about Radio Rex? Let's talk about him. He gets timed out on every damn show anymore as soon as he says something.
Every fucking show.
It's an example.
I think my channel might be the only one he's safe on.
But Minerva's right. They got to moderate. You got to take care of the channel with help that person that's running it. And if you got moderators that aren't doing it the way you think your show should do it, talk to them. Maybe they need a different character, or maybe they don't need to be a mod. It's no disrespect. Some people, I got a lot of people who are great in character and stuff, but I don't want them to be mods on my channel.
Yeah, like there are certain channels that I don't want to mod on because I just want to be in character there.
If more people would think that way, it would be less toxic as, I hate using that word because me in general, I don't think it is as toxic as people think it is.
So yeah, I think it's a lot more toxic than most people want to admit. But
the people that they're, and I get that, the people that are out there continue to say it's so toxic, like you guys mentioned earlier, it's so toxic, it's so toxic, it's so toxic. You're just feeding into it by putting it out there to the other 50 people that follow you that have no clue. So that's where I was going with the whole rant on don't bring too much attention to it, because there's been times where there's a big blowout between two showrunners back in the day, and then it got bigger and bigger, and then someone brings it up into a group chat, and 4 or 5 people are like, what are you guys talking about? Maybe they weren't around that week. Maybe they didn't watch those shows. You know, so you're just bringing attention to more people who, number one, didn't hear it or don't give a shit. There's a lot of people that they don't pay attention to that bullshit. They just there to have fun regardless. There's not enough people like that, though.
we should be talking about that because that is a fucking fly-ass track, Tony. Welcome.
Nah. We can only bring you in the past for right now.
Oh gosh.
It's Brittany, bitch.
Hey, come on now.
Tony Lee, I don't know if you caught it, dude. I got to commend you for your essential oil commercial. I brought it back to life the other day, and damn, did it get a response. We need more of that. We need more of that to break the ice and have fun.
Yeah.
Make some silly vignettes and stuff up. I love that shit.
I will give an example from my own personal life, and I will not name any names to protect the guilty and the innocent and to follow Chance's rule about not naming names.
Thank you.
When I first got involved in the community, I was part of a group of people who hung out a lot. Then one person in that group decided that they thought that I had somehow betrayed them. I had not done what they accused me of. I knew about it, but I had not done it. I had nothing to do with it. I got accused of it, and basically everyone else in that group decided that they believed the person who was talking shit about me, and no one at any point came to me and was like, hey, what's this about?
Oof.
Yeah, that's...
And
lost
I
in
lost
translation.
a lot of friendships there. And most of the people who are involved, I still don't communicate with. Or like, you know, I will say hello in passing if we're both at a show, and that's about it. And it could have easily been solved if anyone had come to me and been like, hey, so-and-so saying this, what's going on?
Well, that's
I've always been a
problem.
person to think that it's never too late to kind of reconcile or put that away. But like, I'll flip the coin too. There's some people that'll never get it, but there's always opportunities to mend those fences. Like Chance said, you know, we're here to build bridges, not burn them.
Absolutely.
But many people are out there to burn them, and they ain't going away, folks. They ain't going away.
Man, forget burning bridges. Those people just want to put gasoline and set it on fire.
Sean, I kind of want to echo that, but on the opposite side of it, when a troll or an asshole is spouting off a little bit too much and then they get timed out, and then the non-mods decide that they want to keep that issue going by constantly replying to the last thing that was said before the person was timed out, or keep slinging insults at that person, like, that shit needs to stop. Because there's no reason for it. Let the mods handle it and stay focused on the show. Stay focused on the story that you're trying to tell as a character builder or a fucking story writer, or just stay focused on your match results if that's what you're there for. But the thing that you shouldn't do is keep fucking going. Because, as Blaze has mentioned previously, if there are new people that are coming in, the only thing they're going to see you doing is bashing this individual who's not there anymore for the next 5 minutes or longer. And they're going to be like, oh, is this what we're doing? Shit, maybe I should throw some insults too.
To each his own that run their shows, but one thing that I've seen people do, and if they choose to do this, they can, but there's human beings behind each of these characters. Even if someone hasn't been on my show for a while, and I'll speak for my show, that's all I can really do, or if they've done something that deserves to not be on the show anymore or whatever, I could have outed a lot of people along the way and said what happened here and what happened there, and I'm firing you, and Vince McMahon, you're fired, bullshit. But there's people behind each one of these CAWs that are out there, so I choose not to. If people choose to fire people on the air, you know, if you clear it with them first and let someone know that this is an in-character thing, that's one thing. But I just don't think it's a very solid practice, even though it's part of the wrestling business. For, you know, people let go, but to come on and fire someone because they haven't been on your show for a month or so, just let them go and move on, because that could sometimes draw some negativity. That's just a minor
We are all
one I
here
wanted to bring up.
for entertainment. However you define that, that is the thing that we are here for. Some people might think it to be entertaining to try to push the envelope or to do these degrading and insulting, humiliating things to people, not realizing that you could be hurting someone's feelings on the other side. I'm naturally an asshole. I really don't give a fuck about your feelings, but as a human being, as somebody who wants the same respect, the one thing that I'm going to do is make sure that I toe a line as to not intentionally cross your boundaries. Unless I hate you, then fuck you.
Man, going back to the topic of mods and their role in someone's chat, one of the things I feel is important for showrunners and for mods is apply the rules evenly. Whatever those rules are, apply them evenly. Because it's going to confuse a lot of people, especially new people, if they're told you can't do X, Y, and Z, and then they see someone else who's been there longer doing X, Y, or Z, and they're like, well, why does that person get to do it?
That's another reason why, you know, publicly doing it can sometimes go back against you.
There is quite a bit of favoritism in the community. I've been giving it, and I've received quite a bit of it myself.
I mean, there is an example of someone who was fired on the air, and the next thing you know, that showrunner got 8 dislikes. I wonder who disliked that show. And that's one thing we don't talk about a lot, because I don't like to talk on the air about the dislikes, because you don't want to bring it to attention to anything. But shit happens. There's someone who follows me around, goes back 3 or 4 shows just to smack one. You know, that's why I don't show it. Number one, that's my prerogative, because I don't want the chat, because I know how the chat sometimes. And a lot of times it was out of respect and that they love my show, that they're like, who hit the dislike 2 times? Fuck them. Let's kill them. Rah, rah, rah. They're assholes. That's just bringing the wrong attitude towards the show.
Well, not only that, but using dislikes as a way to try to get back at someone is not conducive to anything, because YouTube just sees that as engagement.
Yeah, the views are there. And that's when some people are like, oh, you give me the free view. You know, don't talk about it so much. I get that people, and it gets under your skin. I was a lot worse with this 2 or 3 years ago, you know, when I got 8 to 10 every show. And my fear was it was someone within my community. What did I do wrong? Why are they doing it? And then at the same time, I realized the cadence of it. 1, then go away, log into your other account, then 2. It might be the same person. It might be one person. And I'm an emotional person. Most of you guys know that. And I'm like, what am I doing? Who did I piss off that's part of my show? Because I'm wondering, you know, I've learned to just ignore it. Ignore it, move on, keep doing your show. And most of the time, they go away because, like I said earlier, they want the shock factor. They want attention. Don't give it to them.
Damn the views. Like, yeah, it's cool to spit it and be like, ah, thanks for watching, even if you didn't like it. But don't even mention it at all, just because. Like, you'll open up the door for people in your chat to start carrying on about it. And the next thing you know, there's a whole conversation about shit that shouldn't even be going on in the chat. Nobody's actually paying attention to your actual matches anymore because they're more concerned with the dislikes.
A lot of people mean well. Don't get me wrong, in the chat where they go to support you, they got your back. They're like, oh, you know, you still get a free view, or, you know, screw them dislikers. The more you bring it up, the more they're going to enjoy it. They're going to sit back and go, yeah, I got under their skin. Look at the chat talking about my dislike. Look at the showrunner stopping the match. Who cares?
Then you got those assholes that'll be like
YouTubers. They get them every show, and they just keep rolling.
Then you get those assholes who are like, oh, look at them. I got him going over my dislikes. Hey, Frank, get over here and join me disliking this person. They react the wrong way.
Community of we talked about this on a different conversation. I've found them because I'm dumb enough to go out and watch everything I can watch so I can learn. Good ways and bad ways. There is a drama community out there. In wrestling, it's out there. I don't want a part of it. I've watched the shows. It's more watch along drama stuff, not really CAW, but they're there. And if they know they could come into our shows and fuck with us, you're getting 30 dislikes. I'm telling you, it's out there, and if they find us, they'll do it. Because they love that shit. That's why I got so angry earlier today. It's for a good reason. Because I watch
Think about it like
shit ton of this stuff, and you don't want what I see out there as part of our community. You want to see Toxic? Drop in my DMs. I'll give you a link or two. You'll see Toxic. Someone get 30 dislikes.
Think about it like this. If we have private chats, Discord, Twitter, Skype, whatever, for ourselves to fucking commune, to share show links, to do this in character work, what makes you think there are assholes out there that have groups to share links to shows that they can fucking go shit on?
That's why you guys screen your people too, I believe. And I've talked to Chance. Trust me. Ask Chance how many times I've found someone on Twitter or whatnot and be like, hey, do you know this person? And I got 4 or 5 other people that I also go to. I'll get an application out there because I want to see if you know how to fill it out and send it back. Simple things like that. The old days of 4 years ago when we started this shit, oh, you're new to the channel? They drop their hashtag, you download them, and they're on your show. That shit should not fly anymore. Please, if you do anything out there, before you hire people onto your show, find out something, or it'll bite you in the ass. And I don't want to see that happen to people. It's probably
Speaking
overkill.
of ass biting,
Woo!
now you know what? Never
Joey
mind.
just
I'm gonna
street
save that
fired.
for later. Jessica Vesuvius, you know what? I'm about to put you on blast right now, just because. Your hair is fake and your booty thick. Nah, I thought I was going somewhere else with that, didn't you? Ha, look at you.
My hand's raised. You can't see it, but it is.
Yeah, I know you thought. I know exactly where you thought I was going. Now, see, this conversation kind of shifting gears a little bit. We were supposed to be toxic in here. We're supposed to be hating on things and shit. At least that's the perspective of other people out there, the ones that are too afraid to come out here.
That's why people share this out to mainly Twitter. Because, I mean, if you did a space, there might be a little more of those who need to hear this. As much as I like this medium better.
And that's one thing that I do like about doing spaces. But on the opposite side of that, it's something that, like, they can pop into, listen for a little bit, and then go fuck off.
Yeah, there's
here,
an eyeball in the one that nobody knew. But that's good.
Yeah, like here, this one is a little bit more engaging. It keeps people active. It keeps people going. Like the YouTube live chat is a feature that I like manipulating a little bit more than the Twitter Spaces, just because
but I'll be real with you,
I can get more perspective.
You know, I'm always real with you. There's an actual TV show wrestling that's on. There's people streaming now, so there are some people that aren't here maybe for that reason, and that's more of a reason for us. Because I know when you want to do these shows, you do them. I'm never faulting that. There's more reason for us that are here to share this link out to other people. Watch it later. Tomorrow, I'm going to get up. I'm going to share this again. Hey, before you go watch whatever show's on today, please check this out if you're in, I hate CAW. I hate that word. It's just digital wrestling. I'd rather say that. Seriously,
Honestly,
that's our duty as the people who, most of us here that understand, that get most of this shit. Let other people know.
Hate. So you got the right idea.
Yeah, I mean, and like, obviously, we've all been on the receiving end of people being just ridiculous about this game and the community thereof. And a lot of times it comes down to just like really petty shit.
Yep.
And
definitely over half of the time, if not more.
And like just really stupid shit like, you did this thing and looked sideways at my character 2 years ago when I didn't even know who you were. So now I hate you and everyone who talks to you.
You stepped on my Jordans.
I mean, shit. I've had shit come my way just because I've made jokes about car attires. Like I've roasted people's cars as I'm known to do, just
You roast so
because
well.
like oh you've got on a solid gold outfit and it's metallic and it looks like you're a living trophy.
I've seen it firsthand.
Hell, I've been banned from channels for shit like that, and then the showrunners came back and gave me wrenches just so that way it couldn't happen again.
That's funny.
Wow.
But one thing that I will say is I know that, and Chance is in the same place, and Ace is in the same place. We are very divisive as far as being characters and as far as being like the manager behind the character. Like there are people who love us, and there are people who absolutely hate us. And if you don't like me, that is absolutely fine. It took me 35 years to get to a point where I was fine with people not liking me because I'm by nature a people pleaser. I want to make people happy. I want to do things for you. I will be your best friend if you will let me.
Nah, I don't really care if people hate me. It's like, if you hate me, it is what it is. Ain't gonna bother me. Ain't gonna lose
Yeah, like
sleep.
Two sides of the
I've
coin,
gotten
and
to
great
that
points on
point
both ends.
because I just realized I was like, I don't even like this person, so why do I want them to like me? You know,
Great point.
if they're not gonna like me, then they're not gonna like me, and that's fine. But if you're not
See,
gonna
I'm
like
like on
me,
the opposite side of that spectrum. I've always been a dick, so like I've always wanted you to hate me. I will give you reason to hate me. I've grown a bit since my immature, super dickish ways. So now, like, while I may not attempt to wholeheartedly push you to hate me, I still don't give a damn if you don't like me. Half the times, I don't like me. You're more
what
than
did
welcome not to like me.
what did Eve even say about Sasha's pants? I don't remember now. This is
You know what
apparently
I?
something funny I said once upon a time, but when you come up with as many gems as I do, it's hard to remember them all.
But the thing about Sasha too, that's a character that,
I
without
mean, I
going too into
fucking love
detail,
Sasha Camaro.
if
Sasha
you
Camaro is like
know where Sasha comes from, you know that it's all okay to fuck with Sasha Camaro.
Sasha Camaro is
100%.
like my favorite NPC of all time, though. Like I love Sasha Camaro. She's so fast she ran out of her pants.
Oh gosh.
I
That's a good one. I did
remember that one.
Hey, yeah.
but my point to all that was if you're gonna hate me, that is fine. Please, for the love of God, hate me for something I actually said or did. Like I'm sure there's something, if you want to be offended at me, I've probably said something that can piss you off. But don't hate me for some petty thing that some other person says I said.
Well, Drum, let's just say there's a lot of people in the community that have more than one character, and I'll leave it at that.
Truly.
I am. I'm gonna kind of piggyback off of Minerva a little bit. If you hate me, stay far away from me. I make it no secret of how toxic I can be, how much of an asshole I am. Like I own this shit. This is not me just saying this to make you feel some type of way about me. This shit's true. I am petty as fuck and I gives no fucks. So if you hate me and the feeling's mutual, don't interact with me because I will make it my life's goal to ruin your day.
I've
So stay
watched
away
it.
from me.
It's true. Um,
Unless you give him some pot brownies.
no, because then
No,
he'll
no,
just.
half the times I'm already high when I'm fucking with you.
I was gonna say he'll just sit there and eat them and talk shit to you while he's eating them. Like,
Yep. Actually, I'll talk more shit because now I'm thinking on a higher level.
but
I was expecting a sad
But, like,
trombone there.
I will say too, if you hear shit about me, I don't care if I've never spoken to you. I don't care if I talk to you every day. I don't care if you haven't spoken to me in 2 years because you think I said or did something. If you hear shit about me and you want to know, come to me. If you ask me a question straight up, I will answer it. I'm at that point in my life where I'm not here to waste time trying to bullshit people that don't pay my bills and don't live at my house. So
You ain't putting food on my table. I don't give a fuck about you or your opinion.
Yeah.
I don't give
So,
I
I
don't give
would
a
just
shit.
say it bluntly.
I will watch kids off bikes all day. I don't give a shit about your kids.
Fuck
fuck
your
them
kids.
kids.
So like fuck, if you have a question about anything that I have said or done in the last 3 years, by all means ask it right now and I will answer it on air. I don't give a shit.
See, about 3 years ago, my chill was so low that if I hated your guts, I would make a scene in a show, no problem. I would do it very much so in character, but I would still make it no secret that I hate your ass.
Uh, like,
Nowadays, if I hate you or have some sort of negative feeling about you, I'm not even going to be in the show chat. Not for your sake, but for respect of the showrunner, because I know I will go off the handle on your bitch ass.
uh, I
Yeah,
can't.
and part of it is being mature enough to know you need to remove yourself from a situation. Like there are shows that I don't go to or I won't talk at because I know that there are other people at that show who have a problem with me and I don't want to disrespect the showrunner by causing drama in the chat. So, I'll catch a
I do love
replay.
Sterling Rich. I will actually own that. I love Sterling Rich, but only because he pays me to say that.
All this talk about this stuff, it's making me think about a TV show for some reason.
Three's Company because of all the misunderstandings?
No, it's actually got something to do with The Simpsons.
Go ahead, elaborate.
Yeah, it's something from one of their Treehouse of Horror specials, like their Halloween specials that they do every year. I'm not gonna go into the full episode and everything. It's called.
We appreciate that, Mark, because we know as much as I can be long-winded, so can you.
Yeah. It's basically called Attack of the 50-Foot Eyesores, which is basically a spoof of the Attack of the 50-Foot Woman. Basically, what happens is all these advertisements start suddenly coming to life after Homer steals an advertising donut, and then basically one of them leaves a footprint by their house that's now destroyed, and Lisa finds this little label in the bottom of the giant shoe print, and then she goes to that owner of that billboard. Hi Pete, how you doing? And
Holy shit, it's a Pete!
There he is.
yeah, and so Lisa goes to the company that the advertisements are owned by, and Lisa asks this very person, well, if your company created all those monsters, there's got to be a way to stop them. And the guy goes, well, you see, advertisement is a very very delicate thing. If people stop paying attention to it, pretty soon everything will just go away. Like the lady that couldn't find the beef. Exactly. Once you stop paying attention to them, they'll lose their powers. But they can't help but look at them. They're destroying the town.
That's a great analogy, Mark. That is really spot on.
Like legit.
I mean, I followed most of it, but that's great. That's good shit, man. I mean, you got a way with words you always have, Mark. I've sung your praises many, many times, and I sing the praises of a lot of people, and I haven't before like I used to. And I'll put Pete on a pedestal now here because we kind of coined him the godfather of this back in the day. But most of us, I can say for myself, he was the first show I saw that was doing this, and it caught me. And his brash conversation and the way he handled the chat and always tried to make it fun and wild and wacky, which you don't see on TV, that's attracted me. That attracted a lot of people to most of these shows that, have come a long way in 4 years, man. A long way. Yeah, I got you on a pedestal, Pete, whether you like it or not.
I am constantly saying it, and
Pete was your first Minerva. Wow, TMI.
Whoa!
Someone
Pete was the reason why I started streaming in the first place. Like, I was already toying with the idea. I was already toying with the idea of doing streams and shit, but I wasn't sure whether or not it would actually be something people were interested in. And then the same day that I decided I was going to put out fillers in the game I no longer play, I happened to see somebody recruiting for their YouTube company. So I was like, I'm gonna join this just so I can watch it to see how well it's received, so I can see if this is actually something I can do. And the second that I talked to Pete behind the scenes and told him that that was something I was interested in, Blaze, you were there. You can correct me if I'm wrong. The first thing that came out of that man's mouth was "fucking do it."
Mm-hmm. That's Sean, and Pete, Tyler, Cowboy John was doing shows back then, and when Cowboy does his show back then, he was filming it with his phone on his TV. And if you look back far enough, even Omar was streaming back then. I mean, people have been doing this for over 5 years, if you count when Pete and them started, to beginning of 2017 or before, and you can go back on people's channels to see. And it's rooted in, of course, the old e-fed on paper, and a lot of the same things from all back then, and even the W stuff comes over here. Things get lost in translation when they're just typed. And it goes back to what we said earlier about whoever's running the show to kind of lay the groundwork, lead the way, have good moderators to hold people in line, and you can have so much fun with this shit. I've met some of the most amazing people from all over the fucking world. Andy Price, for goodness sakes, is in fucking New Zealand, and he's in all these shows almost all the time. That blows my mind. Raven and Omar and people over in the UK.
Kiwi.
All these freaking Canadians that we got in here and stuff. I love it. You can't go down the street and meet people from all over the world unless you live in like New York City or something.
Remember Narazo?
We got that here, man. Let's take advantage of it. I've met some of the most amazing people on this planet here through this stuff. And they've been for me in my darkest times as well. People like Chance, Cassie, Shifty, people that when I was really bad and I wasn't streaming, I didn't want to reach out and bother people with what I was going on with me because other people were dealing with a lot worse. But when I finally did, God, it can be uplifting. So yes, these things can be a beautiful thing.
Wait, Minerva, you mean to tell me all I gotta do is dye my beard gray?
No, because you're never going to be older than me.
Hey, man, look, all right, this is where dreams go to die.
I called that shit back in the day. I said because it was such an amazing thing that was going on that eventually, and I used this analogy before on one of these conversations, go back in the day when it was 2 turntables and a microphone. That was rap music, a beat and a rhyme. Now look how many versions, how many kinds, and it's all spread out. This industry has blossomed into a huge tree, bigger than the family trees that Elfie explains on her show when she brings people out. I mean, there are so many ways to do it, and like I've said a million times, nobody's wrong. Nobody does it the wrong way. If you want to do wins and losses, points, which I don't like either one, because it just puts somebody's being embarrassed because they're 2-72, or they don't know the point scheme, or they don't have any idea how many points they have or what it means, or this person shows up once a week, this one's there every day. How can that balance when you're giving points for stuff? I don't know. But if they want to do it that way, God bless them. Push that live button, put yourself out there, but make sure, like I yelled and vented and freaked out earlier, cover your fucking ass. Find out who you're bringing on your show. Understand and convey to your people how you want to do your show. And this is an amazing thing. Let's not let it get toxic like all these fuckers want to make it.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm not going to get all fired up again. I already did that once.
Nah, man, I feel like it needs to be toxic. If it's not toxic, then where will I thrive?
Well, there's a different type of toxic. We talked earlier about the specific toxicity that making fun of people's afflictions, or, talking down on people, or not knowing what they're going through, to fuck with them in a way that might actually be real life. I've had people come to me and be like, I can't believe they said that to me in my chat. And I'm like, do they know? I don't know. Well, then how are you judging them if they're just coming and saying something to you? They don't know unless you let people know. And I'm not saying let everybody know what's going on in your personal life all the time, because we already discussed that. As soon as these motherfuckers want to come in here and troll and fuck with you, that's what they're going to use against you, because they want to get under your skin. And we can't let them do it. Said I wasn't going to get heated again, but I guess I did. I can't hold back no more, man. This shit means too much to me anymore.
Hey, man, look, the way that I look at it, we've all built some. I'm not gonna say long lasting because we never know when people might end up growing apart or whatever. But we've all built some lasting relationships here. We've all met some genuine people, some great people, and the one thing that is, I keep saying it, the one thing that matters the most out of this whole bullshit that we're engaged in are the connections. And the only way that we'll ever actually have a beautiful, thriving, flourishing community is if we all individually make the effort to fucking keep shit looking good. We gotta call people out and hold people accountable. Like you can't just, even if it's you, like you gotta be accountable for yourself sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, no matter how many people you bring on your show or have on your community or your show itself, you got to realize there's going to be people that don't like each other within the community. If you really want to grow and be, some people, they want to keep it a small show and have a handful of people. That's great, and they can control it a little better. But when you go up and I have 90 different people that I have to deal with. It's literally 90. And if you don't have a little bit of know-how about them, if you don't have private chats where you can kind of pull people aside, reel them in, as I like to say, things can really explode on you. And I don't want to see that for anyone. And some people never have to deal with it at all. God bless them, But if even if the people who don't have it deal with it right now, if you're not prepared, it could easily blow up on you. And I'm telling you, these drama fucks that are out there, they will, like Chance said, hey, Billy, guess what? This guy over here gets all bent out of shape when I type this in his chat. And they bring their whole crew with them. Who's at a racetrack?
Hey, I live on a busy street. Don't judge me. I'm just glad we ain't had no sirens yet. It's a fucking police station right up the street. It's usually like 12 times a day.
But yeah, so and one of the things I'll say about what Blaze was saying about people not liking each other, that's fine. No one's ever gonna like everyone else that they have to deal with. It's just how human life works. But there's a difference between not liking someone and going out of your way to be an asshole to them. I can be civil to anyone who's civil to me. I don't care if you like me, you hate me. As long as you're polite to me, I will be polite to you.
See, I'm not that good. I cannot be civil if I don't like you. I have this part of my body that just screams, "Let that motherfucker know." So that's why I've gotten to the point where I gotta separate myself from the people that I don't like because I don't want the issues that I have with other individuals to get blown the fuck up and become public issues. This is something that I personally have against you. This ain't got shit to do with Blaze. This ain't got shit to do with Elfie. This ain't got shit to do with Pete. This is me not liking you. So if I come to you with my issue, then that's perfectly fine. But the second that I start airing the dirty laundry or broadcasting how much I hate you, that's where shit gets out of line in my book. And I'm not going to be out of line.
Pete has a good point. Now I'm going to elaborate a little bit on it. And what I saw way back in the day that Pete would do, and I try to do the same thing too. And I've told my mods the same thing. Someone comes in and they're a dick or an asshole or a troll, whatever you want to call them. Don't immediately ban them or time them out. Give me an opportunity to flip them. And Pete used to be so good at it that, he would do it without even really explaining what the channel does and stuff too. But to say something off the wall to make that person laugh and be like, wow, number one, it doesn't seem like I'm going to get through to this guy and bother him. And shit, he's funny. I'm going to stick around. That's the beauty of this thing. If you can take a troll that came into your channel with the Cena versus Roman Reigns, fight me, play me, or whatever, and you can turn him into a reliable fan that keeps coming back, that's a beautiful thing. It ain't easy to do, but it can happen. So don't be too quick on the trigger. I see some channels that are like, oh, the firing squad and the snipers, we get them, ban, 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 ban. And they're just banning people like, wait, you just got rid of 10 people. 3 of them could have been really loyal followers if you just chose to try to entertain them first. Entertaining is what we do, folks. That's what it are. Whether you call yourself an entertainer or not, we're here to entertain you. Even Monstar Sports and Entertainment. I mean, he's not fucking entertaining, but he's boring and bland. But yeah, you're going to go to his show. You're going to get entertained. which I'm going to plug him right now. He's bringing back his tag team tournaments, and I love those fucking things. And I miss your show, Sean. So you better not fucking back out on it and do it very soon. Seriously, flipping a guy, that's something else. It doesn't happen that much.
Yeah.
Even my mods, I'll give my mods some credit that have done it too, where they have said something that get them to understand that, you know, who is this guy just blasting commentary, and then they explain it to them, and they're like, oh, and they stick around. I'll spit this is digital wrestling for your entertainment, creators and managers live in the chat. Sometimes if you do that right off the bat, they're like, well, this isn't what I thought it was. And some of them will just fucking leave. But if you can keep them and grow your channel by inviting anyone, I always say, and I mean it, it doesn't matter who you are, what you are, where you are, how you are, you're more than welcome on my channel. And I live by that. And I want to welcome as many as I can. Sure, back in the day, I wanted to make everybody happy. That shit don't work. I wanted to bring everybody in and just let everybody promo against each other and go full character. Nah. To me, no. It would just explode, and then your community's separated. We talked about it earlier. We've seen rifts in the past. We've seen friendships destroyed because of this game. But we've also seen people come in, like Minerva brought up how Judge came into my show and was like, are you guys really arguing over cartoon characters in a game? And it puts shit into perspective. It's like, you know what? Maybe I am. Some people might be like, maybe I am overreacting. Let's just have some fucking fun.
Mm-hmm.
Told you you're going to see a different side of me today than you guys are used to. But this is passion, man. This is what I do. For some of you that know me for the 4 years, and this is what I do. I'm growing my channel. I want to do more. But when I did in the past, my health got bad. But now I'm trying to find ways where I want to do more. I'd be on my channel every day if I could, doing different shit. And people have told me, you know, do this, do that, try this, try that. Monstar's been on my back for 3 years to do NFL and basketball streams and stuff because the other people to do that. I'd love to.
I'm trying to get in the stream Rocket League.
I have people that want to play Battleship for 5 years and people that want to play Tekken and other games and I say I will and I can't. I apologize. I wish I could. I'd be on this all day long if I could, man. And Sean's been there beside me since day one, and it's just, you know, you don't find friends like that normally, and to have friends in, like I said, Canada and New Zealand and the UK and all over the place. And even right down the street from me, people that live less than an hour from me that I would have never met. Let's use this platform for good, man.
Yes.
There's always going to be toxic. Like I said earlier, you are not going to stop the motherfuckers from doing it. Assholes are always going to be there to come in and troll and try to fuck with you. But I tell you what, I mean, someone like Brandon who dealt with it for a while, and it got a lot. It got overbearing for me sometimes because people didn't get to know Brandon. Number one, to know he's in character and he's doing a really good job of it. And then he didn't really come back as much in the past. But this fucking Brandon Ace nowadays is one of the best in this community at what he does, whether you like him or not. Deal with it.
Deal with it.
Yeah.
And he won't, you know, that's what I mean. Mark Caliber, he came in earlier and he's not going to, you know, he was doing the times on his live stream while he was here. I mean, that's commendable. There's people like Clinton that's in 18 different, when he first started coming around, like, dude, how in the fuck are you in every stream I'm in, dude? And then finally, you know, he has like 4 devices, TV, and I'm like, that's
multiple windows open on all 4 devices.
That's crazy. Like people that support, and I'll put both sides of the coin. People that support is a beautiful thing. Sharing, retweeting, all that stuff. But at the same time, I would not let go or the people or degrade or down talk anyone who doesn't do that. It's not in my nature. Whether you are top level, always involved, super into your character, whether you're just there to watch whenever I'm live, or whether you're fly by night, drop in once every month or whatever and check it out. You're all part of the show.
Support is support. It don't matter if you give it a little bit or a lot. If you were giving me support, I appreciate the fuck out of it. I don't care if you somebody who or you can watch 5 minutes of one of these conversations that I do and just leave a comment afterwards saying, "Hey, the shit you said at the beginning was kind of cool. Thank you for your support."
More
Or
on the
you could be
Twitter
one of the
side.
people that are here every single show, adding to the conversation, giving us more shit to talk about. I appreciate the fuck out of you all the same. It doesn't matter which side of that spectrum you fall on.
I mean, there's eFed, there's SimFed, there's Xbox, there's PlayStation, there's so many different types that are out there, and none of them are wrong, none of them are good. But yeah, there is more toxicity, like Pete's saying, there's still a lot of toxicity in the community, and you see it. I see it a lot on Twitter more than anywhere. But I just choose to
That's
ignore
all
it.
Twitter is.
Those who decide to comment and throw their 2 cents in, sure, you have all the right to do that. But if you're running a show or seriously connected to a show and you bring attention to that, expect to get more toxicity, dude. I'm not trying to censor anybody. You want to talk, you want to speak your mind when someone brings it up and stuff, but just beware that I've seen those drama fucking communities, which aren't small at all by any means. Some of them are much bigger than our entire communities all put together. You don't want that smoke. You don't want that shit in your shows.
I might.
To some extent, Pete, it's worse than it was back in the day. And it's anonymity, number one, I think is the biggest problem, because you can come into I can create an account right now that's called Rob A. Match It. I can create an account right now that's Monstar Sports Entertainment. Same picture and everything. Come in the chat and start talking like him. And you're going to think it's Sean. You got to be careful. Bottom line. People are out
For
to get
some
you.
of us, Pete, we've drifted over into the Twitter side of it, which has opened up a whole new can of worms.
Twitter's
Like,
great.
the shit that we were dealing with back then, it is nothing compared to the shit going on Twitter, just off the strength that our community back then was more close-knit. It was something that was closed off. It was people that we were all bringing in individually, and it was all connected through Skype, so it was more controlled over there.
Mm-hmm.
Twitter is more wide open. You have no control over that shit at all whatsoever.
You don't know how old someone is. You don't know what afflictions they're dealing with. You don't know where they're at in the world. You don't know who else is on their side. And that, they will use that to their benefit if they can get you. But if you give into it, like Blade Chart says, it can
Jerome,
be bad.
don't get me going. Don't get me going, Jerome.
You're gonna get Chancey Oki going over here. It is
Gary
Monstar. You can't. I've seen people that are doing wrestling podcasts, basically, because I started mine and I researched the shit out of it, just like I did before I started my show. 6 months of research before I did my show. Same thing with podcasting. And literally, the people from one podcaster's community will go to another podcaster's community with the name of those from the other one and troll the shit out of them. And they will dox, which they will put your address, your phone number, they will SWAT, they will call the cops and have them at your house. I don't want that shit in this community. Plus, the worst thing above all that, we talked about mods earlier. You mod the wrong person, guess what they can do? And I've seen this on a number of shows. They will ban 20, 50 people from your live chat, and you can't tell who did it or who's gone. So what those channels have to do is unmod everybody and slowly mod them back. That's a problem none of you want either. And I'm speaking from watching this shit repeatedly out there in those communities. And you're right, the fake accounts will never go away because YouTube doesn't change the policy to where, it's IP driven or whatever, and you can only do one name and no one else can. But that's a whole nother can of worms there based on people that bash YouTube. That's, for fuck's sake, that's the medium we are giving this shit. Don't go on your shows. YouTube sucks. YouTube's full of shit. They won't let me say this. They won't let me do this. YouTube's a bunch of assholes. They're not sending out my show. YouTube's not doing this. Fuck YouTube. Fuck YouTube. If they can find the word moron and ban it from your chat, you don't think they're looking at people who are saying fuck YouTube?
Take your whole ass show down.
I don't agree with everything YouTube's rules are either. But if you got people chiming off live in your YouTube about bass YouTube, blah, 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 don't be surprised when your channel's fucking gone for no reason. And we've seen that.
Yep.
We've seen channels gone and we don't know why.
Pretty
Because
much.
you can report, ban, report, and block and shit. and report. I mean, sure, YouTube's gotta have something solid to come back on, but we've seen a couple channels disappear, and we're like, the fuck did they do? I don't want that on anybody.
I didn't mean to do that. I was trying to grab something off my screen.
But those just a few problems that I've seen from my travels around fucking YouTube. And I do it a lot because I got the time to do it. And I do it for the benefit of this community and anyone that's associated with it. And when Chance, and I'll pat your back like you hate me to do, does these conversations, these we should have been doing years ago. Because then some of the bullshit that got lost in translation in a Skype chat or in a tweet where people think someone's being this or being that because they typed something. Come on, people. Talk to someone privately like Minerva said earlier. Like Chance said, drop into a DM. Literally call the person on Skype if you can or something so you can hear their voice. So if you really have questions, don't draw your own conclusions without any fucking research or idea.
Yeah, make some happy little trees. Yeah.
That's the problem. People don't want to go out of their way for at least a few minutes to talk to them. So instead, they like to jump the gun.
Amen. I'm sure, Brandon, you can spit out tons of examples of people that have jumped the gun in some of these shows.
No shit.
I know you've been in some of the ones that I've been in when it happens and stuff.
Pete, I appreciate the fuck out of you dropping in here, man. It's always great to see you. You take care of yourself, brother. Give JoJo a goddamn good walk.
Yeah, Brother Pete. I summoned his ass. I'm glad he stopped in.
I know, Pete.
But this is healthy conversation. You know, we're not bashing any specific individuals. We're not knocking anybody down for what they've done. And thank God, I appreciate how the Chance wants to run it without naming names, because that's not going to bring any good to what we're trying to do. Sure, we could. I'm sure each one of us have names we'd love to bring up just to out dumb shit. But I don't think that's going to really benefit anybody in the long run.
I got a lot of names I could throw under the bus.
I'm sure we all got laundry lists.
You just made the list.
But I don't, like I said before, to do the way you want to do. I'm not telling anyone how to do anything. I'm speaking from experience and fucking way too much research on YouTube.
I'm gonna
and if I can help someone, I want to fucking help someone, man. Those who really know me know that's why I'm here. To bring people together.
I'm gonna redirect things a little bit. We're gonna get back to the way this show opened up. I wanna harp on something that's been grinding my gears a little bit, and I've touched on it a little bit in a previous episode. I also mentioned it in a Twitter space or two. One of the many things that has really been annoying the fuck out of me lately that I think needs to just completely fucking disappear is all of this. I'm gonna label it gang mentality. And I'm also going to label it sheep herding, because people are so quick to latch on to something that someone was accused of without any evidence, without being involved in the situation, without knowing anything about the person accused. And they will slander the fuck out of this person to no end.
Oh yes, I have seen that more times I can count.
I am a firm believer in the process of giving someone a rope, handing someone a shovel, letting them fucking bury themselves or hang themselves.
Figuratively.
Very figuratively.
Oh yeah.
Like,
we talked about that earlier too, but yeah, I
legitimately, if somebody has been accused of being a colossal piece of shit and you don't know this firsthand, you weren't there to see this alleged atrocity that this person committed, why the fuck are you the first person to jump on the bandwagon to try to get this person canceled?
Agreed. Like, if it has nothing to do with you, don't get involved. Worry about your stuff.
And sometimes it could just be a misunderstanding.
A caveat on that, because if it is something that you do have firsthand knowledge of, even if it doesn't directly affect you, I feel like speaking out in the proper place is important. but you don't need to bandwagon if you weren't there and you weren't involved.
Sadly, most people get on that bandwagon.
That's back to the drama stuff. People are attracted to that. I mean, that's what there
It's
are a
like,
lot of people out there that like that shit, and they want to be a part of it. They want to grind
yep,
people's gears. And sure, within our game, it is part of the game to do that, but that's within limits, like we talked at the beginning. And it goes back to the person running the show and those who are doing it. If you can't like kind of draw the line and find out, like Caliber, Mark dealt with something in Commonwealth not too long ago, and I kind of sensed an issue. And instead of me just hoping it would go away, I dropped into his DMs and I was like, let's talk about this because I can tell it's really bothering you. And if it's going to affect your whole show and make you decide, you know, you might want to not want to do this for a while or whatever, you know, let's talk it out. Let's try to find out the root of it. Let's try to see if it's really a big problem, or maybe you got to draw one of the two people aside so it doesn't blow up, or, you know, and a lot of times you can diffuse things that way. And we've brought that up a bunch of times on this stream. Just hope more people can learn from it and try it too. When things start to go awry on your show, it's very easy to get upset because people take pride in their shows. I mean, I do. I very much do. And I know everyone who does, to some extent, does. And that's a slap in their face if you can't take the time or listen to what they have to say or, you know, apologize when you do something wrong. I've done things wrong along the way myself, and I've had to apologize. I've had to fess up. But now I want to reach out more when I see it. I don't want to sit back and hope it goes away. And that's, you know,
Exactly.
I'm not going to do a
Like
live
it-
stream and out people, but I'm going to drop into a DM and try to. There's ways to do it. I should add.
agreed.
Now,
There are,
I know it sounds kind of odd for me to have literally just said like 5-10 minutes ago, accountability is a big thing. Hold your friends accountable, hold yourself accountable. But there's a major difference between looking for accountability in somebody and looking to crucify somebody just because you don't like them or the way that they behave. Like, it's one thing to know that somebody's done some pedophile type shit and make the whole community aware just so that way the younger people in the community are safe. It's a different thing to take a rumor that somebody said a racial slur and use that to just get this person ostracized.
Yep. A lot
true.
of people want to jump on those bandwagons nowadays, and that's the culture. And that goes back to, you know, not that there's any specific age for doing this. Don't get me wrong, but it's the younger generation that are, you know, they love that shit for some reason, and I guess there's older people too that do. I'm not trying to single them out, but more so the younger generation, and they want to take it and they want to run with it, unless there are certain lines that are explained.
And I
In
get
some
it.
way.
Like, a lot of these people are just overcommitted. There's a lot of people that are looking to get the maximum amount of heat for their hero characters and they want to be controversial. There's nothing more controversial than these red button topics. But you just can't be that guy that knows, oh, this person's trying to get heat. I would take this situation and publicize it just to get them canceled.
Yeah, it's not fair because then, you know, there's 20 other people are like, oh, what happened? Well, this guy's this now. What do you mean? What did he do? What did she do? Well, I just heard about it. Next thing you know, it's like that old scenario where you tell someone next to you the story and then it goes down and down. By the time it gets to the 20th
Telephone.
person, it's a completely different story.
I keep saying it. I'm gonna keep saying it. Go
On
ahead,
that
man.
topic, I am sick and fucking tired of people bitching about cancel culture when it's not. First of all, that's not a thing. Second of all, there are fucking consequences for your actions.
That part.
So, like, if you don't, like, you know, people are like, oh, I have free speech. Yeah, you have free speech. You have the right to say whatever the fuck you want to say. But if some dumb shit comes out of your mouth, don't get pissed off when you get smacked.
Yeah, people are offended by a lot of stuff anymore, and there are words that were used in almost every rap song that I used to listen to back in the day that are not okay to say anymore.
I don't
And
really
I don't
understand.
care if it's part of your vocabulary outside of the game or in the game. And we talked about this on a conversation before. The forbidden N-word. We don't know who's black and who's white and who's whatever color. So someone who isn't can come in and say it and be like, well, I am, so I can say it. No, maybe it's just a word we shouldn't use. Anything that's anti-gay, anti-color, racist, any of that. That's just bad stuff. Religion, politics, I said it before. Those are very touchy subjects that, once again, this person who just come into your stream may see, and yeah, you guys might know it's all joking around. There's people that use the long R word, not meaning mental problems, but when they use it on their live streams regularly, they're offending a lot of people, but they don't care. If people in my community don't know, that I'm just joking, or that just means something else, then that's their problem. No, that's your problem. And that's just like what Minerva's saying. You can say whatever you want, but be prepared to deal with the consequences. Because yes, you will offend someone most of the time. Yes, some people just get generically butthurt.
That's it right there.
And you should just try to avoid that if you can. It's difficult sometimes, but very touchy subjects that are out there.
I'm not going to argue the very, very valid fact that Mini dropped. There are consequences from your actions. It doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter what you do. If you're out of line, you're out of line, and that shit's always going to come back on you. Now, as Blaze was just getting at, the world of today is nothing like the shit that we've come from. Every day the world is changing. Every day the way that people react to things is changing. You have to be changing. You got to evolve, adapt, grow with this world. Otherwise, while you're stuck in those ways of old, you're going to fucking fail.
Or just really deal with a lot of shit you shouldn't have to deal with.
That part. But on the opposite side of what Minnie's saying, yes, there are consequences for your actions. But it is not the responsibility of the masses to hand out these consequences. It is the responsibility of the people that are directly affected to hand out these consequences. It doesn't take 30, 40, 70 people to highlight a situation and talk bad about this situation and bring light, quote unquote, to the situation. All it takes is for the people who are directly affected, whether they are offended, whether they were insulted, whatever the case may be, it is their responsibility to bring this up to this person. And if they have a conversation with this person and it doesn't go well, they can bring that to public to let you know, hey, this guy's an asshole. But just because you get this new information about this person doesn't mean that you should crucify them.
It's a lot of power that comes with running these shows. A lot of power. Use it for good or use it for bad. That's your choice. Let it go willy-nilly and do whatever people want to do and deal with the consequences, or manage it. Reach out, have a support group to go to if you want to vent and stuff. I mean, this is good here publicly, but you bet your ass I have a handful of people I know I can trust with just about anything if I really need it, in or out of character. That's a good thing.
Going back to something that both Chance and Blaze pointed out about, years ago people said and did this, that, and the other. And that may be the case, but in a lot of the cases, yeah, people said that stuff, but it was fucked up then too, and just people didn't feel like they had the ability to speak out about it.
That part.
So, people are like, oh, well, when in my day, people didn't get so offended. I'm like, no, people were offended. They just didn't have the opportunity to tell you that because they didn't feel safe saying it.
True. And at the same time, nowadays, they'll take a little bit and make a big thing out of it, even if it isn't anything as severe as we're talking about, to make you seem like you're something you're not. So I totally agree on that point, Minerva. At the same time, yeah, social media did.
Social media changed the world. We went
people
from,
that say, oh, it's all toxic. No, it's what you make of it, people.
We went from only knowing shit is happening because the news told us, whether it be the paper or the TV, to people being able to report shit the second that it happens because they were there. And because of that, people feel obligated to use these same platforms to push shit for whatever reason. You got to be able to decipher. Yep, there they are. Took long enough.
I didn't do it.
You got to be able to decipher people that are actually looking to better the community in these moments of publicizing shit, or the people that are just doing that shit maliciously. Because if you start joining these crusades blindly, then you might be fucking over the wrong person helping out the bad guy in the situation.
Yeah, be careful the company you keep. Drum said you got swatted, see?
that came out of nowhere. I mean, that does happen as well around where I live as well. We live next to a highway, believe it or not.
No, no, that was me.
Canada, that's a lie.
Yeah, that was me. That was ambulance, I think, flying up the street.
There you go, Drum Monkey. Amen. I'm glad you said that. And that's the way I kind of came into this thing, is thinking I want to run something that you would kind of see on TV. So when someone's like, in the live chat, I walk up to Radio Rex and stab him in the kidney. Ha ha ha. I cut his left finger off and throw a grenade up his asshole. Come on, people. You know, let's keep some, you know, yeah, we're fucking with reality and stretching it some, but let's keep some form of realism with what we do. And yeah, would you see that on TV? That's kind of one of the rule of thumbs. It can be bent and molded in different ways, but if you kind of follow what Drum Monkey said, do you see them discussing world events and politics and religion? You know, they might touch on certain things for a character, but no, because you don't see that. You don't see someone pulling out a gun. Well, Arn Anderson might.
But I mean,
yeah,
also,
that's a
you look
great way to
the
look at it.
Attitude Era, and you know, we had people throwing fireballs and summoning lightning and shit. So
now that some people love that, they want to have the supernatural in their show, and more power to them. But if you don't lay that groundwork and say, hey, this person is going to teleport, and then people that don't want to deal with that, go play somewhere else. But if someone wants to have that, don't get me wrong, let them do it. But I don't want supernat like crazy shit like that. Like, oh, someone just I teleported out of the ring and then back, and now I'm 7 foot 800 pounds. What?
I'm gonna unleash my demon form. It's a fox, and I like to eat
Let's not
souls.
get into realism of character.
Oh my god!
We can talk about that all night.
So I know that we can't name names. But I know that Chance is gonna know who I'm talking about. A certain fox demon who used to show up.
I thought you were gonna say the Blood Warriors.
Oh, come on, ladies. You're naming names.
I think
That was being funny, man. That was being funny.
But no, I just ran. I totally like blocked that out of my mind, and then you were talking about unleashing demon forms, and I was like, oh god.
Yeah, I did that on purpose.
I think the Phantom might show up.
And that's the fun
Chance.
kind of trolling. That's the trolling we're here for.
Exactly. See, that there's so much fun. And that's one thing Chance showed me, even back in WU, and brought out the lunatic prick in Blaze every once in a while, is that there are good ways to fuck with people and troll and just have fun with it, man. You gotta, if you don't have people that are allowed to be heelish and have fun, you're missing out on a big part of the game. But if you don't maintain it, then and let someone who really wants to go crazy, then they have brought up 18 demons from hell and they've set the ring on fire. And, you know, come on, people.
Say, I can be wacky, I can be zany, I can be outlandish. I'm willing to sell just about anything for the sake of entertainment. If it seems like it's going to be funny to me, I will sell the fuck out of it. One thing I will not sell, if it's not my idea, is anything related to death. Now, I've got multiple witnesses in these chats. My characters have died a bunch of fucking times in chats. Very nonsensical deaths.
But that goes into what we were talking about, you know, earlier in the talk about, you know, don't do something to someone else's character without their permission. So you deciding you're going to kill off one of your characters, that's your prerogative because it's your character. That's very different than saying, you know, I pull out a crossbow and shoot Blaze and now he's dead and it's my show. Like,
yep.
I shot Blaze in the face with a cannon. Now he has no face. I am the face of LTD.
Oof.
You'd be surprised what some people would do if you just let them totally loose. You got to reel them in to some extent, like I
And
used to
then
say.
the really funny part is when they try to pull that shit and you call them on it, and then they act like you're the problem because you're not willing to sell their stupid shit.
We're on the same wavelength. Because I was just going to say, there's ways of handling that too. Because you can either come off like a total asshole to them, or you can be careful. Like a lot of times, I'll just giggle and be like, "Come on, that's a little bit too much," and people will get it. But you're right, totally, Minerva. It's all on how
It's
you
my
handle it.
prerogative.
I can do what I want to do.
I mean, as much as Bobby Brown sucks, that is a fantastic song.
Everybody's
As a person,
talking
he's
all this stuff about me. Why don't they just let me live?
technically perfect. Welcome. Who is that, Chance?
Technically perfect is a biatch.
He's a biatch. He knows Brandon Ace, so he must be a biatch. Is he one of your friends, Brandon? I know you don't have very many because you don't give a fuck about nobody.
I have no idea who that person is.
Technically perfect is a new tag team that has burst onto the scene recently, and I personally am invested in what they are going to be doing because they show a lot of promise when it comes to the movesets. I'm looking forward to the stories.
Ooh, welcome, man.
And to that end, that the storytelling is why I stay involved in this community. I don't give a fuck about your face texture. I don't give a fuck if you've won 827 belts. If you can't tell a story that entertains me, I have no time for your character.
Alright, so now I gotta go. You done got me started. Now,
But before Chance goes,
Nope, it's too late.
Let me play my devil's advocate. There's some people out there that don't want to tell stories, that just want to be part of the fun, win, loss, and stuff like that. So I like to at least try to include them too. But yes, the most of the fun is behind story.
See, that's all well and good. If you don't want to be involved in the storytelling, if you aren't confident enough in your ability to tell a story, if you have some sort of issue that limits you from telling a story, perfectly fine. No issue with that. But if you are engaged in the art of storytelling, bitch, don't have steppers.
Ain't no stepping.
I am sick and tired of seeing these people who glorify themselves as being good at telling stories, and then when you actually see them tell a story, the only thing that they're doing is writing promos where all they say is how great they are.
True.
That's not a story. Where is this going? You're rambling. How do you
Some
win a
brilliant
title?
storytellers out there too, man. They're really
How do you win a
some people
title?
there with great stuff.
And the only thing that you have to say about this is my kingdom.
Acknowledge me.
Give me something that's going somewhere. Give me substance.
Be original too. We talked about that, I think, of the last one, but be original.
No, I don't even care if you're original. There's a lot of people out
Bobby
there
Flair
that
and Ronald Reigns on your show.
look. I created fucking a whole ass episode of my show where everybody was a recreation of a fucking WWE superstar. I've rehashed WWE gimmicks time and time again, my damn self.
There's a right way to do it, I guess.
Me and Caleb were the new age assholes. We were deflexed in fucking UKWF.
Yes, there's exceptions to the rule, like the Burt Spangles of the world and things like that, but you know
Well,
what
I would argue that Burt Spangle has evolved past just being a Kurt Angle ripoff.
And that's
He's no longer a parody account.
To be fair,
If you start as a parody account, that's one thing. But you need to take it somewhere else. Because otherwise, why would I not just go watch Kurt Angle match?
But I'm the enforcer, Andy Anderson. Come on, man.
So I'm not gonna call out names, but we all know that there are people in the community who, basically just slapped a different color on a WWE wrestler, and that's all the character that they have.
For a different first name, that's what I was getting at. That's what I mean. It's an unoriginal, and sometimes that person might just need a little guidance. Maybe some places that's okay.
And I am willing
Go
to
play
work
that.
with anyone who wants to better themselves at the craft of storytelling and character building. Like that is my jam.
See, I
That's
don't
the
even care
part
about the
I wish
originality.
we had a long time ago. If the people that want to reach out to that had people on the side that can help them, that's a beautiful thing. And there's many out. I can name 20 names right now that their DMs are open to help, but they're not going to tell you that. They're not the kind of person that's going to be like, "Hey, I'll help you if you want help." And then there's some people that will, but there's so many people out there that can help. And I've been helped by so many along the way. I'd sit here and thank them all day. It would take me an hour.
I don't even care about the originality. Like, if
Me,
I will respect you more
You
if
have the
you can do
bland
some
man, for
shit
fuck's
more
sake.
originally. Like, exactly. So, like, will I respect you more if you got some originality? Of course. Fuck yeah. I want to see you do something that I haven't seen before. But if you are gonna be a rip-off character, go somewhere with it. That's all I
Right.
want. I just want a story. I don't want you to just come in here and tell me that you're gonna beat up everybody every show. No shit, you're gonna fight. We know you're gonna fight. What
Yeah,
what
I'm the best in
emotion
one
is
belt
behind
everywhere
it?
doesn't fly. That didn't fly back in EFED days, man. You don't go, just like in work, you don't leave your work and go to a different work that's similar and be like, well, my boss used to do it this way. You're going to rub your new people the wrong way doing that. But if you
ooh,
pick brains of everybody and take whatever they do good and try to enhance what you do, you're going to grow that way, man. That's what I've done, tried to do since day one. If I got 4 people that are real good in promo and 3 people that make great attires, these people make awesome entrances, kind of use what they're good at, they're going to love you for it because you're commending them, you're empowering them, and you're making the whole product better.
Hell,
facts.
technically perfect. I'm gonna
That
add
means I'm going to
on
be
to
good at
what you
everything.
just said. We're gonna put that up on screen for a little bit. Shit, just last year, even 2019, every company had to shift to create their own NXT or become the new AEW in the community.
Yep.
Originality is always going to be something that is subjective. Some people are going to bite the next idea. Some people are going to do shit the way that they want to. I'm not going to be the person to tell you what you can and can't do. I don't give a fuck what you do. I'm more concerned about what I'm doing.
Yep.
But
I think you're going to
if
have
I'm
that with
going to
these sets, though.
be
If you
never,
tweak it, it can work it. There's some the people that are chiefs out there that are great characters. There's some people out there that have a demon associated with them. They're great characters. They're not overboard. They're not all about that. They're not exactly like it. There's different people that spin clubs different
Oh
ways.
dear.
So there's ways to do that without being over the
oh
top
shit.
or exact copies.
Hang on a second.
Uh-oh.
Mark, are you okay over there?
Yeah. My one of my cats, Ruthie, is actually lying here on the bed. I just sneezed and I literally woke her up, and she goes, "Ow."
At least she didn't
See,
puke on you or nothing, dude.
it sounded a little bit like Cactus Josh was coming out, and I got a little terrified.
Well, you guys ain't seen the side of Caliber until you see the new one. Just a fair warning on my channel, so be prepared.
Can't wait.
And that's a great thing. If you guys have been watching what Mark's been doing on my show, he hasn't had a match in a few shows, but he's keeping his story going in the live chat. If you look at what he's been doing, it is brilliant. I mean, it's keeping the story going. Like, I know a lot of people just drop into a show just to see their match or don't even come to a show if they're not booked. But someone who can continue a story, whether they're fighting or not, I'm not talking about just blasting full promos, just little hot shots, hits here and there to keep people wondering, hey, what's going on with that character? Or, ooh, that's intriguing, without going overboard. That's more like, I wish I could tap into people that want to do full-blown promos and stuff all the time. But I've learned that, with as many people, if you get little blasts of it here and there and keep stories going, anyone who's reached out to me and said they wanted to try this or try that, I've tried to make it happen for them. If you just go into live chat and just start shit with a character and I don't know what's going on, you may contradict something I already had planned. And we talked about that on a conversation before. There's ways to put all these stories and stuff into your play without going full blast or making it seem like you're favoring, heaven forbid, this person or that person because they're getting a lot more attention. Maybe they're getting a lot more attention because they're playing the game better than you are.
Yo, Rob and Sean have been killing me all show. I fucking love you guys.
They're like Abbott and Costello, Laurel and Hardy. Name whatever comedy tandem you want. Those two are gold when they're together. You know, that's another great example of people who can just go off and you know they're in character, out of character, just being themselves, and it's entertaining. Once again, we're here to entertain.
All right, so this shit has been going on for 2 hours. We're gonna wrap this bitch up on a very negative note because this is a very toxic episode after all. Anybody out there got something specific you like to shit? No, I'm just kidding. Let's do our usual closing rounds. We'll start off in reverse order. Blaze, you got anything you want to say to the people?
Yeah, my DM. Make your jokes if you want to, because I always say you laugh with me or at me, you're smiling. My DMs are always open to anyone, whether you're on my show, you're not, you run a show or not. Drop me a comment. I say it during every show. Follow Blaze on Facebook, Twitter, Skype. I don't use Instagram that much, but if you want to get a hold of Monstar, you got a TikTok dance or some shit over there. But no, I'm in all seriousness, I'm here to help if anyone wants help, and I want to learn from people if I can. So if you ever want to reach out, even especially for character stuff or story or teams or anything, just send me a message. If I can help someone, I want to do that. Thank you, Chance. You're the shit, and I'm glad you did this conversation.
Who's on first? I thought what was on first?
No, what's on second?
I don't know. Third base.
Third base.
Brandon Ace, you got something to say to the people out there?
No, not really. I just want to fall asleep because I'm bored.
Oh, we're so boring, Brandon. Thanks a lot.
You begged to get on here, and now you're complaining about being bored.
Well, the other thing is, I probably want to grab Blaze's jersey and set it on fire.
Yeah, it's a unique perspective that we get from Brandon Ace, even though the Baltimoreans and all the shit you've taken, man. And yeah, my Steelers suck this year anyway, so you can make fun of them all you want.
Oh my!
Yeah, I do that all the time.
No, John! Don't do this to me!
Oh,
But
no.
Minerva, you got anything you want to say to the people out there?
Yes, I would like to remind everyone to tune in tomorrow on the Wrestling Network, where All Core Wrestling will be presenting the first episode of Fight for Glory.
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
And if you're not subscribed to the Wrestling Network, you're doing it wrong, because
Yes.
those dudes are amazing. All the channels associated over there.
All Core Wrestling will be presenting the first episode of Fight for Glory tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time.
Wait. So you mean to tell me that tomorrow at 5 p.m. I can catch the first episode of Fight for Glory on the Wrestling Network?
She said it twice, Chance.
That is absolutely correct.
Need a hearing aid?
Nah, man, everything comes good in 3, so I had to make sure there was a third one out there for him.
Oh, yeah. You heard me.
And I, in case you hadn't noticed, or if you're not involved in All Core Wrestling, you should change that because Corey does a fantastic job on his show.
An amazing job.
Even if he does hire some questionable people like Ivy Pine.
Oh, boy.
Well, there's more in there, but you haven't caught him yet.
I mean, he has
I'm hire again just to fire her.
He hasn't what?
He has not. Talent is talent.
I mean, that's debatable. But Corey does a fantastic job. I am proud to be associated with AKW, and I'm excited for this new chapter. So please check that out. And yeah, I would also like to shout out Mark Caliber for the fantastic job that he does on the Woo side of
One of my people in blue out there dropped the Wrestling Network in the chat to the people.
I got you. But yeah, Mark does a fantastic job, and I am very pleased to be one of his champions over in Commonwealth.
Longest reigning, mind you.
He's doing both though too. You got to realize
Yeah,
this dude is
that's
not only running
impressive to keep
WU
both
but
balanced.
also in YouTube, and not too many people are still doing that. So you need commended for that, Caliber. I had to
Yeah,
throw
like
that in.
that is, and
It's
the
a lot
amount
of work.
the amount of work that he puts into both is what makes it so impressive.
Bro, that's way more patience than I got. I had off.
I GM on one show on the Woo side, and I'm about done with everybody's shit. So I don't know how Mark puts up with a whole roster on 2 different platforms.
See, I did a little bit of GMing over there, and like I got a little too deep into it, spreadsheets and all that. And
Yeah,
by the end of the week,
Work too.
by the end of the week, I wanted to yank all of my hair out.
I still think
Ooh.
there's a lot of untapped talent over there that would love to be a part of what we do, but it's a shame that the connections aren't as strong as they could be. And I've said that
But
I
numerous
feel
also,
like
also the big problem I feel like came in because people didn't want to let go of what they had done in the Woo side of things,
Yep.
and then they
A whole
brought
new
that
world.
over. And we're like, oh, you don't know who I'm like, no, I don't know who you are because I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah, and you don't have control. I get it. You don't have control of the character as much here either. The you don't press the
see,
button
that's
on
where I
one
was just
easily
about to
enough.
go to it. I
Different
feel
world.
like that's where a lot of the disconnect comes from for the
Yep.
WU people. Like they come over from where they have absolute control over what happens to their
Yeah.
characters to a world where now they're losing 90% of the time and they don't like it.
And some of the shows over here that simulate they take care of it all. E-Fed Sim, whatever. It's always a big mix. The guys that pre-produce the whole thing, they have even less control. I mean, you can still talk to the showrunner about what's going on, but yeah, it's a different world. It's still wrestling game, but if I could go back 4 years, and I'm not regretting anything, if we would explain to some of those people when they came on, first and foremost, this is a completely different world.
Yeah.
Then there's still I guarantee there's a couple dozen people over there that would love to be a part of these shows if they understood it and knew what we were doing. Just have something else on the side to enjoy their character.
But yeah,
Sean, I appreciate you dropping in, man. You have yourself a good night, brother. Once again, thank you for dropping in. I always appreciate the support.
But like Minerva said too, over there's a lot of people that are just out to cause shit, and there's a lot more. And I don't want to tap that at all. And
it's the balancing act of getting the talented people that you can work with and have like a decent conversation with.
Hey, you came in at the wrong time, man. You know what, Shifty? I'm gonna shoot you the link just so that way you can pop in and we can talk to you in the after party. Speaking of the after party, Mark Oliver, you got something you want to say to the people?
I didn't hear me go off like a crazy.
Yeah. Well, first off, for those who watched the tag tournament on Shifty's show, Alex has been out of the ring for a while, so he'll get the hang of it. Don't worry. Second of all, yeah, I do realize how tough it is to even try to run a digital show as well as a show from Wrestler Unstoppable. But I do always try to take the time to do these things, as again, I really don't want to take up any streamers' time. I usually want to just take my own time and just stream whenever I can. And if I ever have any ideas I want to put out there, I just mainly put it out there. But I always want to talk to the owners of the characters just to see if they would like this or not. If they like it, cool, we'll do it. If they don't like it, then we won't do it. The same thing goes with Wrestler Unstoppable. I got about 5 to 6 shows done a week. Yeah, there's a show on Monday, Tuesday, which is hardcore, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, which is the women's, and then sometimes on Saturday, which is a tag team show that I have. Yeah, we do also weekly tournaments, monthly tournaments, annual events. It's it is crazy. And but yeah, I do have some people helping me now, which is good, because I realize I can't do all this by myself. So I got two to three great people, and I do want to give him a shout out. Denunzio, the Lord of Pain, as he's called. Revenge Gibson, Beast has helped me out a few times, and Mystic Maniac. He's made a lot of great posters for pay-per-views. So yeah. And speaking of which, I do want to kind of announce my next super card, which is kind of the same thing in Wrestler Unstoppable. It's also called Halloween Hell, and I do plan on doing elimination chamber matches, which I call the Pyramid Prison because
That's a
when
great name. I love that name, dude. I wish I'd have thought of that. I'm jealous.
yeah
What up,
because
Rage?
Oh shit! Let's end the show. Rage is here.
oh gosh. So
I'm sorry,
anyway,
Mark.
yeah, I just want to say like I call it Pyramid Prison because when they brought the new chamber, it literally looked like a pyramid prison, like literally. So yeah, yeah, I do want to put some of those type of matches in that super card with championships on the line, and Blaze, just so you know, you also qualified for one of them. You'll be part of
Saw
the
that.
world title Pyramid Prison. And I also got some spots filled for the junior heavyweight. I got the hardcore one getting all set up, and I just hope it's gonna be good. And hopefully, I will not go 5 hours.
Yeah.
Again, you did that to yourself.
Mark,
I know.
I want to toot his horn, not in a sexual, crazy, freaky way like you guys.
Hey there!
But he's a generally humble person, like I tend to be sometimes too. But it needs to be said, this dude is great in character. He's amazing at what he does in a juggling act. We talked about earlier how much of a supporter he is, one of the best in the whole community. And it needs to be said, and what amazing person you are too at the same time.
Thank you.
That part.
I'm just shifty.
Shifty! You got anything you want to say to the people, sir?
It's a shifting.
Hang on. Let me give my wife some nuts.
Oh, what?
I mean, I don't think you need to do that on air, shifting.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, hey,
Appreciate it.
oh!
Hey now.
We're PG up in here.
How do
I
you
mean, we're...
Give me that. No. Just he's getting his rocks off.
Well,
Yes. What are you
in the meantime,
listening? I just did a 2-hour show, for God's sake.
and now you're here.
I'm stuffing my
You might
wife.
have a 2-hour show.
You're stuffing her wife's mouth with.
I don't
What?
need to know where you're stuffing things on your wife.
Pause, man. Come on, man.
What's up?
Airplanes and boners.
Oh God.
Go too.
Hit the button.
It's an old corny dad joke. I'm full of it.
Ah, wait, come on!
Shifty. So Chance isn't going to say it. We've been talking about toxicity in the community, bad shit that happens, how to avoid it, how to run your show and maintain it. You're an amazing person too. You've done it for years. What's your secret? What have you seen that you don't like that you wish would
Blaine
go
Charge, I
away?
appreciate you dropping in, buddy. It is always
Oh,
good
good.
to see you.
Thank you. I appreciate
You have
it.
yourself a good night, Blaine Charge. Sorry, guys. Continue.
Let me time him out before you go.
I appreciate it. Honestly, I try to get people that I know. I try to get to know the person before, I try to get a sense of the person. Chance, you and Blake both know specifically that I've come to you guys a lot when I'm looking for new talent for Platinum Dragon Wrestling, because I'm vetting people. I'm being very careful. I've given second chances. I've been burned.
That's fun.
I am looking directly at you, Big Tito.
Hey, whoa, hey, no
no
names.
names. No names. We don't bring in names here. That's the only thing.
Sorry, my apologies. My apologies.
We don't wanna create more division.
Yeah.
Yeah, no
We're
more.
bringing up
No, I
toxicity
don't
and
want
in
toxicity.
general.
You're absolutely right. I don't
You've
want.
dealt with other situations that have caused you grief in your show too, that you've had to eradicate or eliminate one way or another, and everyone learns from that shit, right, Shifty?
Yeah, absolutely. You have to learn how to. Some people need to be handled with kid gloves. Some
There you go.
people just have, just to say, hey, just shut the fuck up, okay? Seriously. But it's in this kind of a world, it's not really accepted to say rage, goddamn asshole.
You're-
It's not really accepted to say, shut the fuck up. but you have to be, as a showrunner, you have to be able to put your foot down and say, if you are doing something and you don't like what someone's doing on your show, you have to go to that person and you have to say, hey, you either need to tone it down, back it off, or I'm just gonna take care of it and you're not gonna be on the show anymore.
Yep.
So you know, you got to work with the people. You got to see, but that's why, in my respect, I try to get to know each person as they come in. I talk with them. I try and ask them about aspects of their character. I know that I have some really weird nicknames on mine, and so that's because I like to just go with the seat of my pants. Sometimes I get ideas that come into my head. Sometimes they really work. You know, I mean, the Sinister Sheet, Angelina Nightwalker. I like that name. I came up with that, and I thought it was pretty goddamn awesome, and she seemed to like it too. But you know, I like doing that. That's a kind of connection I like to make with the person that's doing their character. Maybe I'll do something on the fly that was just messing around, and they're like, "Hey, that's actually pretty good. Can we keep using that?" You know, it's just, you know, see what sticks. But you got to be malleable and be able to work with people. You got to be able to work with people of all different kinds of attitudes,
That's
even
great.
people that grade on your attitude sometime. You know, there's some people that, you know, I put up with a lot of stuff from them, and until I wasn't able to put up with it anymore. You know, and
Yeah, like me.
We share that, Shifty, where each of us have had things, and we've talked about it off the air a lot. Things
oh
that
yeah,
used to get to us a lot that we don't try to let get to us anymore because it's for the greater good. And we're emotional. I'm an emotional person. Shifty is an emotional. He's a great individual. He was there, you
oh
know,
gee,
when times are down, and he's very reactionary, and I love him for it. But he's super creative at the same time and fun. Like I said, we're here to entertain, and who entertains more than Shifty the drunken dragon clown? Man, come on.
Frozen Rage, think of your name. Frozen, ice cold. I was just going with the cold theme. I was trying to pull a Stone Cold Steve Austin sort of bullshit thing just to fuck with you.
I'm
Jeez.
still trying to wondering one thing about Shifty.
Honestly, you liked it. You liked it, so I kept doing it. But first, it was just like, you know how they always joked around that a Stone Cold Steve Austin would have been called Chili McFreeze. He never would have been the superstar he was. You know, I was just trying to mess around with it. Frozen Rage is an awesome name in itself, but I thought the Ice Cold Assassin, you know, maybe give him a little bit of pop. Maybe it works, but if it doesn't, I can just needle him with a little bit because Rage can be a bit of an ass at times, and sometimes it's nice to
No.
bit of an ass right back at him.
No, that's what. But let me. I mean, you have a lot of gold, Shifty. But at the same time, they're not always winners. And I'm guilty of the same thing. Are you the one that created the Shadow Monkeys for fuck's sake, or is that someone else?
Shadow Monkeys?
The name of the tag team.
No, I didn't create the Shadow Monkeys. No,
Okay.
I created the Farkin' Numpties.
Same vein, but yeah, I get it.
I created the Farkin' Numpties. That, yeah, I did that one. I've also. I'm not gonna lie. I came up with it. Oh my god! I'm exposing the business.
Just to get closer to your mic.
Hell, Shifty came up with my nickname.
Which one? The Charm City
No,
nickname
that
or the
was
other one?
Doug.
24
That was
karat.
Doug.
You have a lot of nicknames, Brandon.
Yep.
Do have a
Charm
lot of
City
nicknames.
Player, the 24 karat superstar.
Prince of the 410.
Baltimore on.
You really making me smarter on me, aren't you?
Hey, I'll blast myself too, man. Who do you think Minerva was talking about when she was talking about Pennsylvania? Why I'm the lunatic hick from the sticks, man? Pennsylvania's where I'm from, bro.
I'm also going to say that as much as I really do genuinely enjoy Brandon, I'm still proud of myself for coming up with Baltimore.
Oh, that's been around since the 70s with the Steelers, man. They've been
Yeah,
Baltimore
yeah, but
since
see,
then.
I'm not old like you, Blake. I don't
Yeah, I
remember
know.
the 70s.
Shifty doesn't have a headset on because I have a lot of
I'm
feedback.
actually working on another nickname.
Oh,
Like,
geez.
I'm not sure if this makes sense. Or
Probably
should I
not.
just Charm City Kingpin? I don't know if that works.
Kingpin.
Okay, Brandon,
You a bowler?
this is a legitimate, genuine question. Do you have a gimmick that does not involve you being from Baltimore?
And do you really have charm? I know
Are
it's
you
called Charm
actually
City,
from the city?
yeah,
I feel
Yes,
like you come from the suburbs.
yes, I am from the city, born and raised.
No one
What?
would
Nah,
lie
man,
about.
I think you're out of suburbia, man.
Wait,
No,
what?
no
Do
one
I
would
have to
lie
pull?
about being from Baltimore.
Do I need to pull out my birth certificate or ID or something?
I would not advise showing your birth certificate or your driver's license online, just for safety's sake.
That part.
I said I said my ID. I don't drive.
Well, it still has your address on it, so we talked about that
But
earlier.
Fair
I find
enough.
that a good
it's still a
idea.
photo
Very
ID.
vital information.
Okay, I get that.
Yeah, we're just trying to help you, pal. I don't know why, but we're here trying to help you.
But hell, I mean, that was the gimmick that was pretty much given. Well, pretty much it came. Well, the gimmick pretty much came from guys like Doug and Shifty, so it pretty much helped me out.
Yeah, you ran with
Man,
it.
I ran with
You
the Las
evolved it
Vegas
a lot too, bro.
asshole for a little bit. I had a little spin on it where I did involve Sin City for a little bit, but I mean I can't really say too much in that department because those were really the only two nicknames that I had related to that. All my
The
other
only
alii and fucking nicknames were like way left field.
Hell, I've
oh,
given you a few different nicknames there, Chance.
also
Livewire, Mr. Midas, Abstract Being, Mr. Chronicles, Chance Man, Las Vegas Asshole, Third Eye. Shall I continue? Why do you think he's called the Yellow Pages?
also
The man with
Minerva
so
the
many
It's also
names.
because I have too many characters.
Who came up with Yellow Pages? I don't know.
also Minerva
I
like
did.
the
It was either me or
24-karat
Pete.
superstar.
It was me.
I mean,
Nah, man, it was me or Pete.
It was me.
Nah, man, it was me or Pete.
Yeah, coming
And
up
you've
with
been
names.
four-time
and such.
tag champ too.
I love that kind of aspect of.
I have been for a time tag champ. Thanks for counting.
Maybe 5. Who knows? Why not?
Well, it's only if we count you 6. Then I'll be 7.
Oh, jeez. C and K
also,
making its return. I didn't even bring up the C and K. Well, yeah, Mr. Chronicles.
yes,
That's all in creativity, man. There's so much as there is that bland man character, and there's so many people that just change a first name and use a legit character that's on TV. There's so much amazing creativity out there, man. You gotta give that to. There's so many people.
So I gotta,
From Monkey, for instance, what a great name that is. One of the best names in this whole community.
So I just want to say this real quick. I really wish that Drum and Shadow Press would have tagged in one of the companies that I actually ran as they were running, because I would have called a Monkey Punch.
What?
Monkey Punch.
Monkey Punch.
Yeah. For the innuendo.
Okay, like a donkey punch.
Exactly.
Okay.
Nothing says loving like a donkey punch.
Yeah, I know. Why do I have to be in the same brain space as Chance sometimes? Get out my head.
Yeah, I can't help it, man. I have a lot of ideas, and like I run most of them for at least like 4 months at a time. But like after a while, I get bored with that shit. So I'm like, let me see how I can flip this to keep myself interested. That's where my shit comes from, and that's the character like the Blade Man. That character was made purely out of spite.
Yeah,
Oof.
and not everybody can pull that off. You got to admit that.
Like I hopped into Twitter, and the first thing that I saw was everybody bitching at people because they didn't have face or body textures, or they weren't wearing fucking created attires. They were using
Funny
in-game
fucking
items and
images.
shit. So I made a character that had absolutely no work done to him, with the exception of I changed his tights to give him a bulge, and I put fucking wrestler on the back of him. Everything else was completely default, except his moveset. I loaded it up with a lot of trolley moves.
Default. Character named Default before, too.
Default
Which was
Baby Bland.
was kind of the same vein as that. It's all on how you spin it, man. It really is. And you're a
Yep.
creative son of a bitch, so you can get away with a lot.
Oh, jeez, Chaos.
Chance. What
Yo.
do you think of the sexy Sasquatch?
Wait, what?
That character I sent you from Warforged. The sexy Sasquatch. Did I lose everybody?
No, we lost Chance.
Oh.
We lost
Oof.
the host. Those cops
Oh.
really were coming to get him, apparently.
Oh no.
He's
Oh,
back.
he's back.
You better come back.
Okay. Welcome back.
There he
My
is.
browser crashed. What the fuck?
I didn't realize that was gonna hurt. I didn't realize that was gonna be a loaded question.
It was a loaded question.
I was asking what for creativity's sake, you should tell them about the character I sent you, the sexy Sasquatch.
Oh, the sexy Sasquatch. I couldn't hear you, Shifty. It was in and out. That's why. But sexy Sasquatch?
Yeah, my shit was fucking up.
Yeah.
I love the sexy Sasquatch.
I basically made him a lady style character that's all hairy. As hairy as he possibly be.
He's gonna make an appearance, I promise you. I'm still building my roster up slowly but surely.
I'm just, yeah, it's a great character. I still have a copy of him, but I don't use him because I only want him to be there for this company because that's what he asked for. Because
Yep, I got him and he ain't going nowhere.
that's right. He only made a special one-off appearance at Sandy's birthday in a what?
And then he disappeared into the unknown.
Into the Warforge.
What? We're going to have a Warforged show soon? Cool.
No.
Mm.
That's fake news.
Wah, wah.
I have to try every once in a while. But you teased it yesterday.
I'm never
and
gonna openly admit it.
You teased it the other day. I'm
I'm
gonna
just
drag you
gonna
in
randomly air.
and do color commentary for me one of these times since you actually said so. I'm gonna make it happen.
You know I love putting my voice on things. I hate the way that my
Too
voice
long.
sounds, but I love putting my voice on things. It's very weird.
And there goes the race
Listen
car.
to that bike go, or whatever the fuck that was. Alright, now we didn't hit the 2.5 hour mark.
Oof.
I'm gonna go ahead and pull the plug on this guy here. It has been a very good chat. I'm glad you guys have all joined me here to air our grievances and talk about toxicity in a very, very toxic manner. But in the meantime, in between time, I ain't ate since like 2 while I was at work on my lunch break. I'm hungry as shit, so I'm about to go make bathtub toast. Bye!
Unity.
Peace.
That was a joke, people, but I am actually going to go make something to eat. Thank you for watching, and if you ain't watching, fuck you.